This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
For over 25 years, South Floridians have counted on Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises for their roofing needs. In South Florida, we battle the sweltering heat, rain, winds, and all kinds of tropical storms. That's why when it comes to protecting your family, home, or business, call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs. All work fully guaranteed with the customer's complete satisfaction. A-plus rated member of the Better Business Bureau. Licensed and insured. There's no buts about it. When your roof needs repair or replacement, go to TommyBButtsJrEnterprises.com. A certified whitening contractor.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys?
Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business, car key replacements, and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Red Recover can maximize your efforts by potentially improving cellular metabolism, blood circulation, and muscle recovery. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Caneswear. Go to Caneswear.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Sloman's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com. Licensed roofing contractor. 100% financing is available. Go to Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
And boys and girls, on a beautiful Monday. Yes, sir. I hope it's beautiful where you're at. It is beautiful right here because we are blessed to enjoy another day on Mother Earth, which is always a blessing. Hope you all are well. Hope you had a great weekend out there. I had a nice, relaxing weekend with the wife. Kick back, just watch some television. Really didn't do much today. I didn't. Wow, this is kind of, man. It's kind of what happened to the camera. It's kind of, I don't remember moving it. Let's see now. That's a little better. There we go. Okay, that'll work. Wait a minute. Hold on. Whoa. Okay. So now, a little better. All right. We'll do that. Okay, there we go. All right. Yes. Oh, by the way, yes, sir. Yeah, Essential Moving Experts. Sean Williams sent me a shirt. I told him, hey, man, you got to send me some shirts. So there you go. Little Essential Moving Experts. Sean Williams and the boys. Yeah, baby. So thank you. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Some support. Notice his shirts, Dolphins colors. He sent me one in aqua and orange. So I put the orange one on today. You got to love it. A Dolphin fan that opens up a business, and the business is Dolphins colors. It's like, okay, what colors are we going to? Well, we're going to use Dolphin colors, of course. So that's why you've got to use Essential Moving Experts wherever you're at in the country. Okay, so make sure you call them. All right, we love Sean, great people. Anyway, so we see the chat board's already loading up. Steve Chapman, he beat Jamie Zorrilla. To beat the man from San Jose, California is not easy, but Chapman's the guy that does it. It's either Chapman or Zorrilla coming in. Gus 1388. Richie Stu is in the house. Raging Dolphin Maniac. Miami Molina. Ian from Brooklyn. Brooklyn Rob. Cap for life. What else do we have in there? 6193. The hardcore are in. GP Trap in. Big O was at Canesware over the weekend. Great store. Awesome people. Yes, Brett and the folks are awesome. We were out there on Saturday. Had a really good time. Sean and myself, as always. So, yes, we love them out there. Greg Sportin' Wood is in the house. Cap for life. Let's see. He says, had no clue about mouth open with fan blowing. You're 100% correct, sir. That will for sure get you now. Oh, that happened to you. Oh, yeah, no, dude. That's the because of Nature B, which we happen to have that billboard up right now. Nature B saves my ass from colds for 20 years now. But the only thing that for sure I will get a cold is I sleep with two fans. I'm not bullshitting you. I swear to you, we put the AC at 69, and I have two fans blowing. I like it cold, man. I don't like really hanging out in the cold, but I love sleeping in the cold. Okay? If I can crank it to 64 and hang meat, I'll do it. I don't care. So I like that. But the key for me is covering my mouth. I have to cover my mouth because the second I leave my mouth open, boom, that's it. That air is blowing into my throat, and I end up with a cold right away. Yeah. And it stuck with me for a bit, that cold. So, yeah, it's been a bitch. Yeah, it'll happen. I hope it doesn't happen to any of you. But, yeah, well, you know what? Some of you, it may not even affect you. There's some people they can leave their mouths open and the wind's blowing, and no matter what, they won't catch a cold. You know, but not me. That's the one thing that'll bust me up, dude. I got no choice. So, Greg, I'm sorry if it happened to you, my brother. It sucks. I can tell you that. Mike Honcho is checking in from Houston. He says, what about them Cleveland Browns? All these Texans fans here are laughing their asses off. Glad my Finns didn't make the mistake on Watson. Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while. It is such a blessing for us Dolphin fans because we've been through hell and back for the last 25 years and all kinds of stupid just things that we were in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. And I'm just glad that we're not hogging up the headlines for that at all. I'm with you 100%. So, yes, GP Trap reminds everybody to hit that like button, please, as you're piling on into the show. And if you're listening on the podcast at any time, please smash the like button. It is incredibly important to help us grow, to smash that like button. Big Dan 305 is in. SECE Home Theater. Let's see what else. Do we have? Jesse M is in. Ayala's Obstacles, who is Paul in Connecticut. Let's see what else. And yes, congrats to the Avs. You're right, GP Trap. That was nice yesterday. So the Avs yesterday win the Stanley Cup with their 4-2 deciding. Well, their 2-1 win, but 4-2 in the best of 7 series. They won last night in Tampa to kind of end it already there. And listen, you got to give the Avalanche, after those first 2 games, we kind of talked about it, that they just looked like the better team, and I was rooting for Tampa, I will admit. Okay. I got nothing against Tampa. If I was against, if it's the Panthers, obviously I want to crush Tampa. But outside of that, I was rooting for Tampa to win their 3rd straight. The Avalanche, the questions were, hey, is the Western Conference really that good? Because the Eastern Conference is super deep. And that probably was the case, that the Western Conference wasn't that good. The problem is the Avalanche were that good. They were just way better than everybody in that conference. And guess what? They were the best team in the NHL. The best team in the NHL did not play in the best conference. It played in the worst of the 2 conferences. But They went out to the Stanley Cup, and they took on a team that has now won 2 straight, going for 3, and they stopped them in their tracks. And they won in 6, and you just got to give them their props. Props to the Avalanche. By the way, props to Stan Kroenke. The guy that owns the Rams, the Super Bowl champions, is the guy that owns the Avalanche, the Stanley Cup champions. You think Stan Kroenke's having a good year right now? Winning the NFL and the Stanley Cup? Damn, dude. That's wow. I mean, you had the owner in St. Louis. Yeah, if you could build the team and have him buy the Blues, you would have had double championships. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So Stan Kroenke is on a roll, man. Hell of a roll. And please, you Panther fans out there, just like me, okay? Don't get into the, what will we call the
blind ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
Yeah, don't Panthers wouldn't have done any better. Okay. First of all, they couldn't even get there. They couldn't even get out of the second round. So just in case, if there's any of you out there just sitting back, well, I think Florida could. No, they couldn't even get past Tampa. So just in case, don't give me that blind ass fan crap and all that. I just hope that those guys are watching. And the theme has been about the Panthers, the toughness and playing with more grit and all that. You know what pisses me off about that? We have to tell you to play like that? It's hockey. That's the only way you win. How many times did you see a Tampa player last night take a puck and then go to the bench bent over backwards because they're in writhing pain because they blocked the shot? Sacrifices, baby. That's like, do I really need to see the sign that says weapons at the airport, that you can't bring weapons? You have to do it because we got a lot of stupid people in this world. I personally don't need it. I'm smart enough to know I don't need to take weapons to the airport. You know what I'm saying? So there are things that are the obvious, and that's kind of pissed me off a little bit the start of this offseason with the Panthers, that they're talking about how they haven't played physical enough. It's effing hockey. What'd you think you were going to do? You think it was going to be, figure skating with a puck? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I have to tell you to be tough. I have to tell you to sacrifice. You've been in the league long enough now. We're not talking about a team that's full of a bunch of guys with 1 or 2 years of experience. These were all old guys already. They're all seasoned veterans. The fact that that's the theme of the offseason, let me tell you something. That's pathetic. Okay? That's pathetic. All right? More like the Panthers are soft until proven otherwise. Let's just call it like we see it. Soft until proven otherwise. Not you got to get tough. No, you were never tough. And that's your problem. So look at the teams that are there. They're tougher than you are. So I hope you're watching, Florida Panthers. You got a long ways to go. But congratulations to the Avalanche. And hell of a run for Tampa. I don't know if it's over now. I don't know if this is the back end and now we're headed downhill, but either way, that's my 2 cents there on this whole hockey situation. All right, so congratulations to the Avs. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rheaume text line, 855-912-1056. We can always read your texts on the Welt and Rheaume text line at 855-912-1056. 1056. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. And on what's it called? Follow our page here. Please subscribe to our page. Please like our page and our second YouTube page, Big O Show Cuts. We need you to give us a follow there. We got to get that one over 1,000, por favor. All right. Help us grow like you have already. Big O, like you mentioned several weeks ago, not panthers, but kittens. Exactly. That's what they are. Meow, 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 meow. Molina says, call a spade a spade. You got to just call it like it is, man. Unfortunately. Morning, Big O and followers. Just wondering if Mrs. O will ever make a guest appearance on your show. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know if I've ever put her on the air. No, I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever put my wife on the air. No, and she doesn't care about any of that. She's totally behind the scenes. Has no it's not something that she will want to do. It's not something she would want me to force her to do or anything like that, because I'm sure if I, asked her enough, like, please come on for a second, she'll do it and she'll be all embarrassed and all that. So I'm not going to do that to the woman because I know how she is. That's not really her thing. You know what I mean? So she'll be uncomfortable. So I'd rather not do it. Know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Anyway, what else do we have here on what would you send me here on the Welton Rayom text line? Somebody sent me Marino had only one 1,000-yard rusher to work with in his 17-year career with the Dolphins, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah. No, I thanks whoever sent me that. I mean, my brother, I know everything that went on with Marino. I lived it. Okay, that's why I laugh with the idiots of, oh, does Tua need a perfect team? Well, guess what? Marino's team wasn't perfect enough for him to win either. And he had way better receivers than Tua. You know what I'm saying? Yet Danny needed a running game and needed a defense and never got in, dude. So, it's not about just winning a couple of games. There's wait a minute, what did we hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay. I think we're going to Alter Bridge in Orlando. Yeah. Alter Bridge is going to have their sorry, I got caught here. Buddy of mine got us a ticket. Alter Bridge, I believe it's their new record. So yeah. So Alter Bridge, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go to their listening party in Orlando. All right, I like it. I like it. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Anyway, so I lived that whole thing with Marino, and that's why I laugh with the whole Tua bullshit, because everybody needs it, bro. Everybody needs the help you need. And the one thing that I don't want for the Dolphins is what we've had in the past. An 11-win season here, a 10-win season there. Every 8 years you go to the playoffs or something. It's not about that, man. It's not about what Marino did. A couple of winning seasons, well, several winning seasons, but a couple of trips to the playoffs. One trip where you got to the Super Bowl, but you really didn't win anything significant, unfortunately. It's not about that, man. It's about building more than that. The Denver Broncos built a team that it required Peyton Manning to do practically nothing to win it. He can throw for 10 yards. His arm wasn't better than that. 10 yards maybe is what he could throw. The Miami Dolphins built a team in the 70s that Bob Greasy only had to throw the ball 6 times in order to win. The Baltimore Ravens built a team that won with Trent Dilfer only having to make a couple of plays. Hey, Trent, just make a couple of throws. That's all we need. Tony Banks started that season. And they ended up with Trent Dilfer and won with Tony Banks and Trent Dilfer as your quarterbacks, and they won the Super Bowl. Of course, it's nice to have the amazing team that Joe Montana had at times. Sure. It's great if you're Terry Bradshaw and you're loaded with the steel curtain and everything else. It's great if you're Kurt Warner and you've got Marshall Faulk in the backfield and Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce and Oz Hakeem and a pretty, I would say, middling defense. It's great when it's super special around you. It makes life easier for the quarterback. You just got to make the plays. San Francisco had it a couple of years ago. Garoppolo just overthrew the guy. But Garoppolo's reputation would be completely different if he completes that pass. So, it's not about, hey, let's get to the playoffs. No, it's about winning a championship. And you're going to win a championship because Jalen Phillips is going to kick ass. You're going to win a championship because Javon Holland's going to be a difference maker. You're going to win a championship because X has to get 5 or 6 interceptions in the season. 10 would be nice, but, let's be realistic. You know what I'm saying? You're going to win a championship because it's either Austin Jackson or Eichenberg or somebody is going to effing figure it out. That's why you're going to win a championship. Tua can do his job. Marino can do his job. The question is, can you get enough people around your quarterback to do their jobs? And Marino never had enough people around him. And that's why he had to kill himself, because his defense was going to give up 35 that day. And if he didn't score 38, they were going to lose. And that's not what it's all about. It's fun. It's great to watch Marino sling it around a whole bunch of times, but it's frustrating when the defense goes, and you're watching Richard Todd match Marino touchdown for touchdown, and you're going, what the is this? That's Richard Todd. He doesn't belong anywhere on the field with Dan Marino. But Wesley One-Eyed Walker is burning Miami all over the damn place. You know what I'm saying? So it's about a team. And you got to build a team. And when you do, you're Joe Gibbs. And you say, yeah, I'll win a championship with Mark Rippon. Yeah, I'll win a championship with Doug Williams. Yeah, I'll win a championship with Joe Theismann. Because I have the team. And that's the job of Chris Greer. Okay? That's the job of Marvin Allen. That's the job of Reggie McKenzie. That's the job of Mike McDaniel. Those 4 guys better find a way to build a team. All you idiots out there that just want to hang on to just the quarterback talk, you don't know football. Because if you think that it's just the quarterback, then you're wrong. Because there's a lot of guys that have a quarterback and they win nothing. And that's because they failed to build the team around the quarterback. So I watched all this shit with Marino. I lived all this with Marino. And I've lived what's gone on the last 25 years without Marino. 25 plus now it's been. So it's time. You got to figure it out, man. Well, it actually hasn't even gotten to 25 yet. But it's bad. It's about building that team. So when you see they got a line When you see there's a running game going on, when you see there's a defense playing ball, then I know you have the quarterback. I'm convinced you have the quarterback that can win it all. But you got to build the team. It's not going to be Marino carrying you by himself. It's not going to be Tua carrying you by himself. It's not going to be Russell Wilson carrying you by himself, because that's why you need a team. Because the coach made a stupid-ass call stopping you from getting the second Super Bowl. It's the way it goes. So your coaching staff better know what the hell they're doing. They better know how to find talent on the front office side, and the players better know how to execute, and they better be able to support each other. And then that's when our Miami Dolphins are going to have big-time success. Don't focus on Marino. Don't focus on Tua. Focus on the effing team. That's what you need. The last time we had the best team we've had was Jay Fiedler's teams. Think about that. From Marino on, now that I think about it, the best teams we had were the Jay Fiedler teams. Yeah, because Marino never had a defense with Taylor and Zach and all that. It's crazy shit, isn't it? But you didn't have the quarterback. It wasn't enough to put you over. And that was the difference on that team right there. So, got to find a way to get it done, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Ken O'Brien, Richard Todd, it didn't matter, bro. It didn't matter. I was pissed off either way. All of them. Didn't matter. They were lighting them up. They were lighting up Bud Brown and J.B. Brown and Paul Langford and, I don't know, all kinds of different clowns that they had back there. Lawrence Taylor won with 2 subpar QBs. First of all, Adrian, you're about this close to getting blocked, because for you to call Phil Simms a subpar QB, like, you don't know jack shit about football, my brother. Adrian, you might be better off never commenting on football again on this chat board. Just a warning, okay? I mean, really, man. Some of you out there, are you old enough, Adrian? Because if you're old enough, then really you know nothing about football. You called Phil Simms a subpar QB. Holy shit, bro. Yo, que clase come mierdería. Wow. Man, some of you out there, really, you should not comment on sports. You should not. You should just stay watching, learning, subpar QB Phil Simms. Holy shit. Wow. Wow. Seriously, dude, retire from the comments of sports talk. That is, Emilio says, how do you feel about the O-line as it stands right now? What am I going to feel now, Emilio? Wait till they play, bro. What's there to feel now? Emilio, let me tell you something, bro. Anybody that's commenting on a line that they haven't seen play in a new scheme, you know what they're doing? It's what I told this guy the other day, flipped out on me because he tuned into a Dolphins segment, and we were talking about other things that weren't Dolphins. I'm like, dude, it's the offseason. There's nothing going on. They're not playing, my brother. How can you measure anything on the O-line? They're not hitting anybody. There are no pads. We haven't seen anything. We don't know. Wait till we actually see real coaching take over and we see like real practices and them playing. Then we'll get a feel for what the hell that line is. What do you think about the line now? There's nothing to think. Anybody that gives you an opinion on a line they haven't seen, it's just they're just filling time or they're writing space for nothing. It's what I told the other guy, that guy the other day. I don't do sports talk and do hypotheticals all day just to create sports talk. It's not what I do. All right? Go listen to a fan show or something that wants to play hypothetical games all day long. Go listen to lazy radio or something that they play the hypothetical game all game long. Yeah. Wow. Anyway, what can I tell you? Do want to remind you that Sloman's Home Security is a proud sponsor of our program. And tomorrow, by the way, Inside the Paint will go on Tuesday, not on Wednesday. So tomorrow from 9 to 10 a.m., Ira Winderman and Clay Ferraro will take over. Right now, the first 40 Big O listeners, we're going to give you a free doorbell camera, 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. And that doorbell camera connects directly to your smartphone, and it is a savior. Yesterday, we're watching television. Somebody knocks on the door, right? And it was the neighbors across the street. They were having a party. So my wife goes, "Hey, the neighbors are at the door." She knew right away. She looked at the phone. She didn't get up to walk because, the dogs are barking and it's like a loud ass noise with a whole bunch of dogs barking. Two big dogs waiting to eat the person on the other side of the door. So she looks in and she says, "Oh, the neighbor's at the door." She goes, and they brought us cake and pastelitos and all kinds of stuff, bocaditos, all that kind of stuff. What is un bocadito in English? By the way, how is that pronounced in English? I have no idea. What is un bocadito in English, by the way? Anyway, so see, that's what you love about Sloman's, doorbell camera, because you can even see your delicious surprises at the door. And if there's somebody you don't want to talk to, then you don't go to the door, don't answer it, and let them ring the doorbell and they'll go away. It's a beautiful thing. Somebody's delivering some food. You don't want any contact with them. Hey, please leave it there at the door. I'll be out in a minute. Boom, they leave it. You pick it up. You're gone. And listen, not only does it connect to your smartphone, but when you use our professional installation, our low-cost central station monitoring, we're going to give you an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. It's going to become one of your best friends. You're going to love it. You can turn on and off your alarm from your cell phone. I mean, it's so easy to control. You get up in the morning, you don't have to walk to the pad. You could just turn it off right from your phone, and you could go and just go about your day. Don't even have to worry about it. 1-800-ALARM-ME. The first 40 Big O listeners will get a free doorbell camera. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Ira Winderman is next. Ira Winderman is next. I have no idea. Is he gone? Did he leave? Where is he? What happened to Sean? Oh my God. I think we lost Sean. I see Ira there. Ira is there. I know he's there. I don't know. I think.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
I love live. That's what I love about live. It's beautiful. Beautiful. I love live. It's raw. You get to see it the way it really happens. That's why when people say, "Oh, it's a podcast." No. It's actually a live show. We podcast it after. Podcast, they get to dress it up from behind the scenes and all that. We don't do that. We give it to you raw. How you doing, Ira? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm actually out of town. I'm just coming back from a family wedding, but I said, got to delay the flight, have the Big O show to do. You've got to have your priorities. So right now there's 200 people seated on a Delta plane who've been told, "Hey, it's the Acura Pembroke Pines report. You'll leave when you leave, damn it." And we'll leave it at that.
I like it. All right. So you wrote about, I love what you did in the article today where you had all the dates and everything going on with the Miami Heat. And I know you talked about them having to give the $1.8 million, what's that called? Whatever, to Yurt and Gabe and Strus and those guys.
The non-guaranteed contract. That's a no-brainer. Yeah.
Right. This is a no-brainer. It's going to happen on Wednesday. How come they haven't done it already? Just out of curiosity.
Because of trades, because of what if they got to a situation they were going to be under the cap and they needed an extra $2 million. The one thing I've learned over the years with the Heat is they never do anything until they have to. So Big O, even though people are talking about PJ Tucker and his opting out of his contract for the next year, going to go into free agency, that's not official yet. That'll become official tomorrow. Everyone wants to maximize flexibility. Because there's a chance, for example, PJ Tucker opts into the low money, and people are like, that makes no sense. But what if the Heat on the side said, you know what? You're going to be an early bird free agent next year. Take the 1 year now. Give us the flexibility. Next year, we can give you a higher starting point in your salary. We can work with you. The other thing I mentioned in my Sunday notes at SunSentinel.com and in the story today in the Sun Sentinel, because of what happened last year with the Heat, where they approached Kyle Lowry, the NBA says too early, I think everything is going to be according to Hoyle and by the book this offseason, because I got to tell you, the NBA, like a lot of leagues, is sort of looks at teams as recidivists. Okay, you did it once, you lost a second-round pick. There wasn't that much pain last Thursday. Let's face it. They wound up loading up with undrafted guys anyway. Do it again, it might be a first-round pick. Do it again, it might be a reduced salary cap. Do it again, it could be something more. So I think the Heat are being very careful. I can't tell you, Big O, how many times I've called the Heat on an innocuous question. Has Strus been taken care of? Has Omar been taken care of? Has Gabe Vincent? Not even a return text. They are doing everything here by the book. When Pat Riley talks today about welcoming the new first-round pick, Nikola Jovic, I doubt he veers into free agency because it's dangerous. Because even if you mention another team's name, unless that player is in free agency and free agency starts, the talk supposedly at 6 p.m. Friday. And I think an interesting factor for the listeners here of the Accurate Pembroke Pines Report will find, I think the initial boom, Woj beats Shams, Shams beats Woj, I don't think that's going to happen as quickly Friday because teams don't want the league to say, wait a minute, it's 6:01 p.m. and they have a contract with this guy? That must have been a hell of a minute. So I think because of what happened last year, to review for people.
And by the way, add one more caveat to that whole thing. Sure. Let's be honest now. Woj is tied to the same agency that's tied to a shit ton of players.
Correct.
That's why he gets the in. And I'm sure those agents are going to hear from those GMs and say, hey, let's not screw this up, right? Because then you also ruin relationships.
Woj, you can win, and we won't tell Shams. And Shams has his agents. And Shams, you can win. He has Kyrie. He has Ben Simmons. And we won't tell your guys. But I think the boom guys, I think you're going to see some guys
you've never heard. Domino effect is what I'm saying of that whole thing.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see some guys you've never heard of reporting stuff first because they don't have the ties. So they'll go with what a player told them. So I think it's going to be very interesting. But again, to review so people know what happened last year, the NBA said the Heat contacted Kyle Lowry too early in free agency, and the Heat were, whoa, we tried to trade for this guy at the trading deadline. We knew what his request would be. We knew what the Raptors would want in a sign and trade. It was easy. At 6:01, okay, we'll do the deal we talked to you about in February. Okay, Kyle, we'll give you the contract we talked about on an extension in February. The Bulls, the same thing with Lonzo Ball, getting him from the Pelicans. But I think because the league came down semi-hard last year, I think teams are going to have to think twice. I think the newsbreakers will still be out there, and here's the reason. Even though negotiations begin on the 30th at 6 p.m., signings and transactions cannot be announced and completed until July 6th, when we're just about out in Vegas for the Summer League, until noon that day. So nothing can come from the teams. It has to come from the newsbreakers, from the agents, from the players. But the teams have to play it very careful until the new salary cap comes out, the new luxury tax comes out, the new numbers come out for the limit you can go into the tax if you're a recidivist team. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a week's worth of rumors. I think it's going to start ahead of time because it always does, but it's going to be literally Twitter driven.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of the guys in our family gets a story or two. And Jordan Schultz, he gets either NBA or NFL stories all the time.
Don't count out Winderman or Chang yet. We might have our moment in the sun.
Obviously I expect Winderman and Chang, but I'm saying on the outside guys that maybe one of our guys in our family outside of the Winderman and the Changs could be getting something. So what are you smelling, by the way? What's Ira Winderman smelling?
Well, I don't know what the Rock is smelling, but I can tell you this whole thing about PJ Tucker to the Sixers, for them to give him the deal that he would want they would have to trade not only Matisse Thybulle, but maybe Furkan Korkmaz as well. So they have a lot of work ahead of themselves before they can get to that $10 million that they need to. So I think that's a little bit shaky there. You know, there's a lot of people.
By the way, but wait a minute, hold on. 3 year 30, and Miami's at 3 year 27, right?
If they're offering the third year.
Okay, but wait a minute. If they are, and it's a no-tax state, what the hell is the difference?
Because I think the third year's in flux. Because people ask me, why did Kyle Lowry so quickly agree to the Heat? I will tell you why, people out there in the accurate Pembroke Pines report. Because the Heat were the only team to guarantee the third year for a player who's going to be turning 38. A lot of teams said, Kyle Lowry, you're good. You led Toronto to a title just 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We'll give you 2 years. We'll work on the third. Big O, I'm still not sold the Heat are willing to offer the third year to a player who will be turning 40. God bless PJ Tucker in the shape he's in. But at some point, you have to balance things. This takes us back to 2020 free agency, where Jay Crowder.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. They got to be willing to offer the third year if, let me tell you, if you're also telling him, because you brought this up earlier, if you tell him, well, you agree to a 1 year deal and then we'll get you after because you're a bird rights guy, that's going to be a multi-year deal.
That is going to be a multi-year deal. But then again, the Heat have the patience of waiting on the cap space, seeing what he does in the year. But more than anything, I would do it this way. I would do the third year as a games played the previous year or previous 2 years. If you show us in year 2, you can play 60 games. I'm going to set the bar low. If you can play 3/4 of the schedule, boom, you're in. Maybe total games from the previous 2 years, we'd have what would be about 184. If you play 120 of those games or something like that, then I would go with that also. So I think you could make it work as long as you can reach an agreement. But you know what? PJ's holding the leverage, and I'll tell you why. The next guy down on that tier of journeyman free agents at the mid-level is Thaddeus Young, who didn't get to the playoffs this year, who's already been, he's been from Philly to Chicago to San Antonio, to Toronto last year. So it's a second degree of a player there. So I think that he realized where they are, and the league realizes where they are.
All right. What more have you been able to unearth about Orlando Robinson?
Yeah, that's an interesting name. So I got to tell you a little story. I'm out here in New Jersey walking with my son the other day, and I said, hey, the Heat got Orlando Robinson. He's going like, whoa. One, he was surprised he wasn't drafted. Two, he said, this is a big-time skilled guy offensively, who can help defensively. And he told me, kiddingly, he goes, Dad, I think he's going to make the roster. Now, I wouldn't go that far. But what I'm saying is what's interesting here, Big O, is this, and I wrote about it on my Ask Ira I just posted at sunsentinel.com. If they really are committed to Omar Yurtseven, and I'll say it here, and they damn well better be. And if they are committed to Nikola Jovic and he's not staying overseas, and let's face it, they're not having a noon press conference at FTX Arena to announce a guy who's not going to be here next year. That's another big. Plus, they have Bam. I'm not so sure that Dwayne Dedmon is long for the Heat. Because if you can get an Orlando Robinson at the minimum non-guaranteed Exhibit 10 contract where you can play it out, I think it's going to be very interesting. Now, a lot of this has to do with PJ Tucker. If PJ Tucker doesn't come back, you don't have a lot of veterans there. You can't go with Bam and then a 19 youngest Heat player ever, Nikola Jovic, an unproven, I know you love him, Big O, but Omar Yurtseven is not a proven playoff player yet. And then to go with an Orlando Robinson. So the Heat are building a nice young core of big men, but there needs to be one more veteran in there. Maybe it's still Dedmon. Maybe it's PJ Tucker. I don't think you need both. So I think what the Heat are doing is they're saying, Dwayne Dedmon, you were wonderful for 2 years for what we needed. You gave us the size we clearly were lacking, but maybe now they're moving on there. I like Orlando Robinson a lot. I'm curious what he could do defensively. But again, what the Heat have with all these guys they're adding are not complete players. Omar Yurtseven, slow-footed on defense. Nikola Jovic, I don't know if he can play a lick of NBA defense. He's going to have to learn the entire NBA game. Orlando Robinson, same kind of thing. So this is where the Heat developmental program will tell them when they get to the October start of camp, are any of these guys ahead far enough that they can move forward. So I think that's going to be interesting. I think the Heat are in a good spot developmentally. They always are. The Heat always had these guys. And
let me add something. Something. What it looks like in Jovic and in Robinson is that you're also aiming more towards an offensive big man too. And that, like, Yurt still has to work on his offensive game. You can tell he's kind of raw, but he's a good rebounder.
Yes.
You know, Dedmon's a guy that's also kind of limited in his offense too. Good defender, rebounder. But these last two kids that they just added, it seems like they're trying to find the big guy with the offensive skill set, and then we'll teach them defense.
Yes,
instead
absolutely.
of the other way around, that they get the guy that already has the defensive disposition, but now we've got to teach him offense.
Sort of the opposite of Whiteside. Whiteside came in great rebounder, great defender, couldn't play offense, forced the offense and wasn't. And you know what? Oh, this is curious. And I'm curious if Pat Riley addresses this at noon at FTX Arena. And you and I talk about this a lot in our Accurate Pembroke Pines reports. It's becoming an offensive league. You have to outscore. We saw that in the Boston series when they couldn't get points. At some point, it becomes about outscoring. I think Pat Riley's coming around, and now we have to deal with stubborn Eric Spoelstra. So I'll be really curious about that. But this is
long, athletic, big guys that can score, that can stretch. It's what you need in this league. And if any of those two cats become good defenders,
right,
then it becomes one hell of a player. You know what I mean? Because unfortunately, it's Eric Spoelstra who then has to put the puzzles together live on the floor, and then some of them have, you know, warts. Okay, I got to put him on the floor, but he doesn't defend well. I got to put him on the floor, but he doesn't shoot well. You know, that kind of stuff. This is what our dilemma has been with Bam, that you can't play him with another big man unless that other big man can really shoot from the outside.
Sure.
And
yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to find with Robinson and yo, bitch. I think that's what they're trying to find with.
And you know what? You probably couldn't find two better defensive teachers than Malik Allen coaching, and you'll be out there with us in Summer League, and Alonzo Mourning being around the gym. You'll probably see him in Summer League. You'll see him before camp with these guys also. So the Heat certainly have the defensive mentors when it comes to big men also, which will make it interesting.
All right, so let's bounce around the NBA now.
Sure.
All right, let's go first to Brooklyn. The whole mess in Brooklyn. I don't know what to believe or what. Is Kevin Durant really mad or frustrated about this situation? Or is he just acting like it and saying, you know, let me act like I really am bothered by all of this, but I really want to get rid of Kyrie Irving? Or I don't know what's going to go on. So what are you hearing with the Brooklyn situation? What do you think ends up happening here? Because I don't think that there's not a lot of cap space available in the NBA as it is. And it's usually a lot of the mediocre teams that have kind of that cap space. So what's going to happen with the Kyrie situation? If he wants his money and he wants a multi-year deal, who the hell's going to give it to him?
Brooklyn has to give it to him. It has to give him everything he wants for this reason, Big O. When the Brooklyn Nets made the trade with James Harden to get James Harden, they gave their entire future draft to the Houston Rockets. So the years the Rockets don't get the Brooklyn Nets first-round pick, they get pick swaps. If the Nets even think about rebuilding, every good draft choice they're going to have is going to go to the Rockets. That's going to be an unbelievable bonanza for the Rockets. They'll get Nets lottery picks. They'll swap into Nets lottery picks. The Nets' backs are against the wall. Kyrie knew that. He knew that he could squeeze every dollar. Think about this. Think about if someone worked, Sean Stanley decided, I'm only working 1 day a week, but I'm taking my pay the other 4, and then comes in and asks for a raise. Orlando Alzagari, as nice of a Cubano as I know, still would go, I got to draw the line here, my good friend Sean. I'm buying you one buffet, the rest are on your own in Vegas. The Nets don't have a choice. The Nets have to give Kyrie every penny he wants because there is no plan B. So they have that. Kevin Durant knows if I voice vocally, you must give me everything I need to win. The Nets have no choice. They can't trade him. The Nets backs are, when you make your deals with the devil, you never get out of that contract. You are headed to HE double hockey sticks no matter what. So the Nets know where they are. This is what you do. This is what all the big three teams have done. They've gone all in. Let's face it. If Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade couldn't play with LeBron, the Heat would have been screwed. If things fell apart like they did with the Cavaliers with Karan, the Lakers wound up being screwed. You make your deal with the devil, you have to live with it. That's what they've done. That's what the Lakers did with Russell Westbrook when they took the big money. They knew they wouldn't have cap space. They knew they wouldn't have draft choices. They knew they were screwed. The Nets, that Kyrie and Durant will get everything they want from the Nets because there is no plan B. The Nets literally could just flip the sign out of business because if they lose Kyrie and they lose Kevin Durant, there is no path out of there but years in the wilderness, and they might as well move back to the parking lot in New Jersey because they will become that irrelevant.
All right, so I don't even bother asking about Durant. He's not going anywhere. He'll be there.
They can. And again, he has 4 years left on his contract, so it's not like I'm out of here, I'm not showing up. There's only one player in the NBA willing to give up millions by sitting out, and that's Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. By the way, Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines is celebrating their 14th year right now, their 14th anniversary. And the new Integra, the 2023 is in, $369 a month. The TLX Technology Package 2022, $479 a month. And they've got a ton of certified pre-owned vehicles with financing starting as low as 0.99%. So get on down to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. All right, Ira, Donovan Mitchell. I'm not even going to ask about Bradley Beal because he's staying in Loserville. Okay, so
take the money and run.
Yeah. What's going on with Donovan? Maybe a year from now, like you said, he gets his money, then he complains.
Have it all. Sure, we've seen guys do that. Donovan Mitchell still comes back down to the coach in Utah, and I almost wonder if Danny Ainge is not slow playing this whole thing so he can take care of that first, take care of the coaching thing, and then tell Donovan Mitchell, okay, where are we going from here when no one will have anything to offer and Donovan Mitchell will kind of be screwed. This Utah thing is very weird. To not have a coach at this point. Look, I'll give you the perfect example. The Charlotte Hornets didn't have a coach because Kenny Atkinson said no. And whether you like Steve Clifford or not, Michael Jordan knew he had to move relatively quickly. He has Miles Bridges in free agents. He has other moves to make. And he went ahead and made his move. Utah operates in their own sphere. I mean, it literally is, and I don't mean to condescending here, like they're dealing with their own religion. They just deal with things their own way out there in Salt Lake City, and we're seeing it in the NBA. That only is going to further confuse Donovan Mitchell. So I think that situation gets sideways. But at what point, Big O, do you stop hoping for something happening elsewhere and set your team up? The one thing we know about free agency, when it starts 6 o'clock on Friday, it moves at warp speed. Honestly, by Saturday or Sunday, we'll be done with most of the moves.
Yeah.
So if Utah wants to make a Donovan Mitchell move, they got to decide in the next couple of days who their coach is and what their direction is and what they're doing with Rudy Gobert. They might have more work on the table even than Jersey, even than Brooklyn when it comes to the future of their franchise.
So maybe Danny Ainge is pulling a LeBron on Riley that he'll wait till after the moratorium to make his moves.
If he thinks he can hold the cards, honestly, I know you're kidding, but if he thinks he can hold the cards and control free agency, that would be such a Danny Ainge type of move.
By the way, for the record, I'm a Kenny Atkinson fan. I thought he did a marvelous job with the Nets, and it was really smart of him not to take a job for Michael Jordan. That's all.
Well, you know what? It's crazy. Everyone thought Michael Jordan's an owner was going to be the best thing that happened to the league. That guy pinches pennies and cuts costs more than anyone, and this is why, because it's his money. All these guys are going to ownership, as you know, whether it's Marino and he's going to move with the Dolphins and some others, or Brady, they want to deal with someone else's money. Perfect example is Derek Jeter. Yes, he put in $25 million, but he took $5 million out a year for 5 years to get all his money back and never was invested. Michael Jordan is realizing the pain of ownership at times when you're not elite like his Chicago Bulls were.
Yeah, I mean, he's as bad a GM as great as he was a player. I mean, it's just it really is amazing. All right, what else are you working on the Sun on a very important and active week here in the NBA?
Well, today Nikola Jovic comes in. I'm curious if Pat Riley does talk about free agency. Last Thursday when we were at the draft, Pat came in after the first round, and Tim Donovan, the PR guy, said no free agency questions. I'm curious how much Pat bends that a little bit. Also working on a story about all the foreign players the Heat have had over the years and how they've really shied from that. And probably outside of maybe Goran Dragic and maybe Sasha Danilovic, you could look at Vladimir Stepania, there really hasn't been an impact. So if Nikola Jovic makes an impact, this will really be a breakthrough moment for the Heat and maybe get the Heat to look a little more overseas as well. So I think this is sort of a seminal moment coming up this afternoon at FTX Arena. So I'm working on a story on that. Honestly, you have the deadline coming up tomorrow. We're coming up on Wednesday to, like you said, the start of the Acura Pembroke Pines report. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Omar Yurtseven all have to be guaranteed. All will be guaranteed. And think of that, Big O. $1.8 million a year for each of them. Potentially your backup center, your starting shooting guard, your backup point guard. Think of the amount of money that for just over $5 million, the Heat are going to lock up their starting shooting guard if it's still Strus, their backup point guard if it's still Vincent, their backup center if it becomes Yurtseven, for 1/3 of the cost of what Duncan Robinson will make next year.
Amazing. The Heat are trying to break the Sasha Danilovic curse. That's amazing. God. Oh man, that was early in Riley's run when he made that selection. All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Make sure you subscribe also to support Ira and all the great writers there. Ira, as always, we will see you tomorrow for the
full hour back home. Nice backdrop behind me, and we'll be giving the best of the Jovic press conference and looking ahead to free agency. Looking forward to it, Big O.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Ira Winderman. Catch him 9 to 10 tomorrow. We're switching inside the paint from Wednesday to Tuesday this week. All right, there we go. I like it. Good stuff there by Ira Winderman.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. Ryan Spoviero says MJ has owned the team for 12 years. They have the 9th smallest media market, and there's 30 teams. Don't expect the unexpected. You mean like in Memphis that they're pretty good? How's their market? You know the Magic's been to the finals, right? I mean, you could get there or you can be incompetent. You know, the Utah Jazz have been pretty good. That's not a big market. You can have success. San Antonio's a tiny market. You get the right people, you get the right players, you never know, you hit a home run. They have no success there. Please, don't make excuses for Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan sucks. He is a terrible owner. He's a terrible GM. Okay? He's the GOAT, greatest player of all time. I'll give it to him. I watched his entire career. I got nothing but respect for Michael Jordan, the player. The executive, the owner, the general manager, complete dog shit. Let's call it like we see it. Complete dog shit. Okay? Dog shit is better than anything Michael Jordan does as a owner and general manager for the Hornets. So, Ryan, go give those cheap-ass excuses somewhere else. That small market shit don't fly. Learn how to draft. Learn how to develop. And then maybe you can actually have a winning franchise. They're a bunch of losers because of Michael Jordan. Okay? Michael Jordan is an effing loser, is what he is. As an owner, as a general manager. He's a joke. He's an absolute joke. He's MJ, monster joke. That's all. Listen, man, you want to get all the praise? You want to be the GOAT? You want to fly through the air? You want to win 6 championships? You're the shit, dude. You're awesome. You're the best. I'm not judging you by that. I'm judging you by what you did as an owner, as a general manager, as your draft picks, from what you did in Washington to what you've done in Charlotte. Dog shit. Nothing more, nothing else to say about Michael Jordan. There's no defense of what Michael Jordan has never done as a general manager, owner, and it's very typical of great players. They suck when it comes to their overall evaluations. They're not good at it. It's just a normal thing. They normally suck as coaches. They normally suck as general managers. Normally. Yeah, you'll have your Jerry West. Once in a while, you have an Ozzie Newsome. But it's very rare that your great players actually transfer over to becoming great general managers and great coaches. Very few of them, man. It's just the way it is. Most of them are failures. There's only a couple of outliers, as they say. Please, don't give Michael Jordan any excuses. So, putting together a champion is hard, especially in that market. I can't say he's done a bad job. Well, then you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Big O, the wife and I had fun at the Inter-Miami game against Minnesota on Saturday night. Nothing like waiting until the last minute to get a great win. You know, that was pretty awesome. on Saturday watching Inter Miami win. They were losing 1-0, and then Indiana Vassilev gets in, and all of a sudden he scores in the 87th and 90th minute, and they win 2-1. Man, they inserted him in the 83rd minute, so he comes off the bench. And this is a week where I thought there would be a little turmoil because Kaufman writes about how Higuaín wants a bigger part of the offense. And I'm like, oh my God, like things are going well. They don't, old man, shut up, bro. Collect your money, wait till the end of the year and walk off into the sunset and go smoke all the cigarettes you want in Argentina. Go pollute the shit out of their air and get the hell out of here. You know, and I'm like, oh God, this guy's starting to make noise. Like, yo, dude, you haven't learned your lesson? You're too old for this league. Sit down, old man. And I was fearing that, the guy was going to start creating some waves. This team is about these young guys. It's about Vassilev. It's about Lassiter. It's about Campana. The Bryce Duke kid who was just terrific on Saturday night, all over the damn place. That's what this team is about. These young guys. So you can find a couple of them that you think will be pretty good players. And then you now, obviously, as long as Chris Henderson's doing it now, because you can tell that things are changing thanks to Chris Henderson, you allow Chris to then go out and get the DPs that you need in 2 years. I think they have financial penalties for 1 more year, so they'll have another year of limitations. And then after, you can start to open things up, and you'll get rid of Higuaín, and you can now start to go get, some DPs and take this thing to the next level. So I was very fearful of hearing Higuaín saying, oh, I want to be a bigger part of the offense. And I'm like, yeah, dude, no, they don't need you. Understand that. Inter Miami doesn't need Gonzalo Higuaín, and they certainly don't need him running his mouth and wanting to be a part of. Shut up, stay on the bench, and when they call you for a couple of minutes, you play a couple of minutes, do your best, collect your check, and get the hell out, dude. You've been a disaster. That was beautiful on Saturday night. That was awesome. They're unbeaten in their last 6 games at home, by the way, Inter Miami. But seriously, there's a couple of those young guys that are fun to watch, man. Fun to watch. Really like what I saw from Inter. So I am 1,000% with you there, GP Trap. That was a lot of fun, man, to watch on Saturday. I mean, well, listen, I know that, Panthers, Marlins, and Inter aren't necessarily going to get a lot of you going. You know what I mean? But that's not that. I'm not going to ignore Inter Miami. I'm not going to ignore the Panthers, and I'm not going to ignore the Marlins just because I know that some of you are, well, I don't want to talk hockey. I don't want to talk baseball. Oh, who cares about soccer? I know I'm going to get all that stuff, but we're going to give love to all the teams in town because I'm an all sports guy, man. All right, we got 1 hour down. We got 2 more to go. Hour number 2, Alan Poupart's going to join us at 11:30. We've got a bunch of football questions with him. Speaking of football, we got some football things I want to start with here in hour number 2. Also, Sean Stanley. Is there anybody hotter than yours truly on the liquor split matchups of the night? Anybody? Well, then again, I am the only one doing liquor split matchups of the night. But hey, we want to get on Saturday. It's 8 of 9. We are 8-1 in our last 9 liquor split matchups. And by the way, the one loss was by either half a run or half a goal. I forgot what kind of game it was, but it was by a half. Okay? Now, then again, we have several wins by a half also, which on Saturday, that was by a half. But anyway, so we are 8-1. We will have our liquor split matchup of the night in hour number 2. Alan Poupart in hour number 2. Marcel Louis-Jacques with our myedgedrink.com Miami Dolphins report in hour number 3 at 12:30. Let's take a break. Back with more right here on the Big O Radio Show.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. South Florida's premier law enforcement agency is now hiring individuals like you. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is now accepting applications for non-certified and certified police officer positions. Minimum requirements and qualifications can be found at FLPDjobs.com. That's FLPDjobs.com. Are you ready? The city of Fort Lauderdale is an equal opportunity employer.
What? Oh, look.
Hey guys, this is Hayden Hurst, NFL tight end. I'm partnering today with Red Recover. We're gonna run you guys through some drills. I started using Red Recover last year, my 4th year in the NFL. It just helps me on Mondays after games, get my recovery process started, get back into the fold of the week, and get ready for the following Sunday. And if you want to recover like me, use Red Recover.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. The point statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Sports Grill, good food, good drinks, good friends. Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealership in the Southeast United States. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department. The FLPD is hiring. Go to FLPDjobs.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hour numero dos on the air, baby. Yes, sir. Livardo, you are correct, by the way. The goalkeeper for Intercalendar has been absolutely awesome. Another great pickup by them so far. I am with you there. The U is starting to make some noise. Romulo, let's talk a little bit about that, by the way. UM ends up landing QB Jaden Rashada. Top 50, top 5 in some lists, top 10 in others. And they beat out the Gators, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, LSU for the QB. Remember, they also got the Emory Williams kid, the 3-star kid from Milton, also committing. So you've got Jake Garcia, you've got Ja'Curry Brown, the freshman there. And then, of course, you've got Tyler Van Dyke. So you are loading up. So you get the kid from Pittsburgh, California, who's 6'4", 185. And again, I don't know what he is, right? But I'll tell you what, they are making noise, Romelu, in the sense that Mario is working and keeping the U name out there and grinding like a mother, like you're supposed to work. And his tireless, ways of getting this done is going to be a shortcut to actually getting back to being great. Now, the noise is awesome. Now you've got to live up to it on the field. I'm not asking for much this year. It's his first year. I can't expect him to fix everything, but I do expect him to win the division and be in the ACC championship game. That's the only thing I am demanding of Mario Cristobal, because every coach before him should be winning the division. There's no excuse. And especially now that you got a better staff and a better head coach, and you've got the quarterback coming back, you definitely should win this division. Okay? If you want to pick Pittsburgh, that's fine. I can understand that, but you better beat Pittsburgh. Okay? I get the media members and some people, maybe they pick Pittsburgh in that division. That's fine. I don't care. Miami better be the better team in that division this year. That's what I want to see from Mario this year. I'm not asking for the ACC championship game. Maybe the following year, the year after that, maybe we're demanding that. Because then you've landed enough people, enough of the Jaden Rashadas. By the way, let's hear from Jaden Rashada on why he chose the University of Miami over the Gators, over Ole Miss, over Texas A&M, and over LSU. Let's hear from Jaden, the newest quarterback for your Miami Hurricanes.
Let's talk with one of our recruiting experts.
That being said, I'd like to announce I'll be committing to the University of Miami. Go Kings. All about the U. Miami just felt like home when I went there the second time, Really, they all just hit it on the bat. Miami is kind of a California vibe, so I guess that's what, really set it off a little bit. And, Coach Gaddis, Coach Cristobal, those are two proven coaches that kind of could show that they're all about winning. So that was a big part of it, too.
It's their job now to take your game to the
next. So there's Jaden. And I think that's the impression that Mario is leaving on people. He's impressive. If you've ever met Mario, he just knows how to carry himself, dude. Carries himself like a man, like a gentleman, like a head coach, like a passionate individual, like a responsible individual. All the adjectives are there to describe Mario in every positive way that you can possibly describe that man. Now is the job of living up. Here's the other thing that I love about the Mario hire. This is the ultimate hire for you as a program, because you're hiring one of your own. You're hiring a guy that comes from this community, that went to school in this community, and then went to the University of Miami and had major success. It means a lot to him. That you haven't been able to hire guys like that are this young, and that you have a chance. This is a lifer. This is a lifer. This is not a guy that really wants the pros. This is a guy, this is his job right here. This has to work, man. This has to work, because if it works, it's going to be beautiful for a long time to come. Because Mario will keep it at a level that you need it to be in order to compete. Now, he's got to get it done. He's got to prove it and all of that. But the foundation is there. It reminds me, there's a lot of turmoil with the Canes over the years, right? It's been a Bitcoin crash for the Canes for over 20 years now, right? They were up there, right? And then the crash came, and they haven't come back. And that the fundamentals are there now for everything to be successful. You got the right head coach, you got the right staff. The administration is spending money. You're right. They're creating the buzz. Now you've got to put it together and make it happen on the field, because that's the ultimate buzz. Once you start winning, you show people you're winning and you're doing your thing, even more recruits will commit to the University of Miami. And by the way, right now, the University of Miami is the way Bitcoin is right now in its crash, right? Because the crypto world, the stocks, everything's gone down, right? And I can't speak for every coin that's out there, but for Bitcoin, the fundamentals are all there. The hash rates are through the roof. It's going to explode eventually again because everything is set for it to explode again. Same thing here. The same thing here. Now you've got the fundamentals in place. That was the problem with the Canes. They didn't have the fundamentals in place. Now they do. Now they got a chance. That's why I keep telling you, like on the crypto side, the amount of people that hold one Bitcoin is higher than ever. The hash rates are higher than ever. The whales and others, they are scooping up Bitcoin left and right. Eventually, in Africa, they just found like half the world's amount of gold. They just found it now in Africa. So they added more gold. Not as scarce as you think. Bitcoin, it's only 21 million, and then it's over. So right now, the University of Miami football program has its fundamentals in place to take off. It's just a matter of when it happens. Does it happen this season? Does it happen next season? When do they take off? Just like Bitcoin. Will it happen this year, or will it happen maybe next year after we get through a bunch of this stuff that we're going through in the world? Fundamentals are in place for both. We'll see which one explodes first. But I guarantee you, both the Canes and Bitcoin are going to explode. The Welton Rayom text line, 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. By the way, myedgedrink.com, the best energy drink on the planet. And you can order it and have it delivered right to your home anywhere in the country. Go to myedgedrink.com, use our code Big O, and you get 10% off your shipping. Trust me when I tell you this. It's a great elixir to mix it with your drinks. But if you want just straight up a great energy drink, 78 calories only, smooth, delicious, and zero aftertaste. I cannot stress it enough. Zero aftertaste. That's what I hate about energy drinks. It's the aftertaste. It drives me effing crazy. A lot of soft drinks that have aftertaste. I cannot have them. I hate them. Edge, nothing. Smooth, delicious, and zero aftertaste. Check it out for yourself, folks. Go to myedgedrink.com. Use our code Big O, and you get 10% off shipping there. All right. 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, that's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. By the way, if your business wants to be a part of our platform, great way to get exposure, great branding, and of course, expose yourself to thousands of listeners locally, statewide, nationwide, even worldwide here on the program. You can call our business line at 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. If you want to get in on the business line and join us here on the platform. What else do we have here going on? Yes. I promised you we are 8-1. On Saturday, we had a show out at Canesware, 2511 South University Drive. We love the folks out at Canesware. And we gave you our liquor split matchup of the night. We told you to take the Mutts minus a run and a half. Well, the Mutts ended up winning 5-3. So we ended up winning that game by half a run. We are now 8-1 in our last 9 liquor split matchups of the night. By the way, nice job by the Marlins to avoid the sweep yesterday as they defeat the Mutts 3-2. Castano actually had a really nice outing, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks. Not bad. Rojas hit his 6th home run, but at least they avoid the sweep, which is good. So it is time now for our liquor split matchup of the night.
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the liquor split matchup of the night.
All right, here we go. All right, so tonight the Marlins will start a set against the Cardinals. Cardinals, as you know, better than the Marlins. No surprise there. Adam Wainwright, which is amazing. What is he, like 57 years old? He's 5-5 with a 3.32 ERA. Pablo Lopez on the mound, towing the slab for the Marlins, 5-3 and a 2.61 ERA. So right now, the line is St. Louis is favored by a 1.5. The over and under is 7.5 runs. Miami is plus 115 on the money line, and St. Louis is minus 135 on the money line here. You know, I like Pablo. I think he's a heck of a pitcher overall, and I think he'll do a decent job today. You know, I'm actually going to go with the under here in this one. I don't think they'll get to 8 runs in this game. I think they'll stay under the 7.5 runs. So in my liquor split matchup of the night, I'm counting on old man Wainwright to do a decent job. Marlins, you know, had to get on a plane and get there. So no rest for the wicked, as they say. And then Pablo has had a hell of a year. He's got a 2.61 ERA. He's got a 5-3 record. Marlins aren't necessarily an explosive offense. So I'm going to go with the under here, under 7.5. That's what I think is going to end up. I'm a little nervous about laying the 1.5 run with good pitchers on the mound. I'm afraid of the 1.5 runs because I think this is going to be a tight game, thanks to having Pablo on the mound. So because of my immense respect for Pablo, and you got to respect old man Wainwright, somehow or another, he stays in the game. I'm going to stay under 7.5 runs here. So let's see if we go 9-1 in our last 10 liquor split matchups of the night. Let's go under 7.5 tonight. Marlins and Cards for our liquor split matchup of the night.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download then tap that app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
Jose's asking, I'm a little late, but I'm going to watch Top Gun 2 tonight with my mom at IMAX. Is it better than the original? It's great. It is the best sequel I have ever seen because of the way it ties the first one together with it. Some people like it better than the second one. It's a little different while being the same, because it's kind of I mean, I don't want to give away too much, but it's kind of a different kind of love story, let's say. From love story to passion, in other words. And you're going to enjoy the hell out of it, dude. You know? You're going to enjoy the hell out of it. That's all I can tell you. So don't worry about it. Nobody said, anybody that goes to see it, they all love it. It's like, I don't know, it's like Stranger Things. And I don't watch Stranger Things. But since you haven't seen Maverick, kind of the same thing, right? Everybody loves Maverick. I haven't talked to a person that watches Stranger Things and doesn't say they love the effing show, like by a ton. I haven't watched it myself, which obviously I'm a loser for not, catching up with some of you out there on the Stranger Things phenomenon. But it's kind of like that, Jose. You can't lose, bro. You're going to win tonight. That's all. Canes reloading like the glory days. Well, first, let's see if they can do it the first time. And then we can start talking about reloading. But they've got to get over that hump. Morning, Big O from Vegas. Can't wait for Tommy Rockers Bros Summer League. We'll be there. We'll be at Tommy Rockers. We will be there. We will be doing our thing. Let's see. Romulo says, I agree with you, Big O. You can see the difference in recruiting already, but nothing matters if you can't produce results. Yep. I agree. Molina says, Big O, on a fared holiday here in Medellin, and listening to you is just ecstasy. Thank you, my friend. In Colombia. Big O, have you seen the Elvis movie yet? No, I have not. Is it any good? Best sequel ever is going to be Avatar 2. Can't wait for that movie. Well, I mean, it hasn't happened yet, so. But I got to tell you, that sequel is freaking amazing. You got to give Cruise a ton of credit the way he put together that sequel, man. It is absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, Deshaun Watson. I don't know, but I think there's a talk show host somewhere that kept saying, yeah, I think they're going to suspend him indefinitely. Now, it hasn't happened, okay? It has not happened, but over the weekend, a report came out, and the report said that they're going after a indefinite suspension of Deshaun Watson. Which, again, I'm not really surprised. The reason why I told you that they would go for an indefinite suspension, it's because there's too much unknown. You still have 4 more lawsuits to settle. You have 2 more that are also being filed. What's next? And so you figure, all right, it's already disgusting for the league that, first of all, you allowed the Houston Texans to even make a deal, which, by the way, for the Texans, they've got to be thanking their lucky stars that the league was stupid enough, and of course, they have no scruples, to allow this to happen, which they shouldn't have. They should have put him on the commissioner's list from the get-go and said, nobody's doing anything until he settles this. And that's why you've got to suspend them in a way indefinitely, because there can't be a timetable because you don't know. And because of the gross nature of this whole mess, I mean, you got to be stupid and ignorant to think that this guy's innocent in any way, shape, or form. Okay? This is a sick individual. And the league was disgusting enough to allow themselves to then deal a sick individual and not actually put him on ice and then give him a guaranteed contract that no one has ever gotten before. And you have a lot of people that know how to represent this league the right way. Like Russell Wilson represents your league impeccably. So does Tom Brady. Like, those are the guys, if you're going to give human beings guaranteed contracts, you give guys that know how to represent your organization in every way, in every situation, the right way. Deshaun Watson does not. He's a predator. He's a guy that's lucky that he's an NFL player because he might be in jail if he wasn't. Okay? Stuff like that happens to Joes like you and me. We're not going to be the same. So Andrew Beaton of the Wall Street Journal reported over the weekend that the league will push for an indefinite suspension lasting at least 1 year, and explains the NFL won't accept a resolved suspension less than 1 season at a minimum. The commissioner has last say. So now, they say they're going to negotiate and it could change or whatever, and we'll see what Judge Robinson and everything else ends up, deciding. But You've got to suspend this guy, and you've got to put him on ice until everything is resolved. And you should have done that before, because you're forcing everybody to answer questions about this guy. And it's none of their faults. Nobody on the Browns should have to deal with those questions, but they all do now. And it doesn't matter. You're whoever on the Browns, and you're at a charity event, and you're doing something great on a charitable side for kids, homeless people, whoever you're helping, right? Cancer patients, you name it, Make-A-Wish. Media's there to cover it. Dude, they're going to ask you a Deshaun Watson question in the middle of something really positive. And then you've got to now handle this mess for that idiot. Because that moron's got one hell of a woman at home, and he's out whore chasing. He's out predating. He's out assaulting women, allegedly. I mean, it's like it's crazy stuff, man. It's crazy stuff to be involved with that guy. Thank the Lord the Dolphins weren't able to pull off some of the stupidity that the owner wanted. And let me tell you something also, to tack this on to the Dolphins. I don't believe anybody wanted him in that building except Flores and maybe the owner, and that's it. I don't believe anybody in the front office wanted him. I believe that was one of those shiny, that's one of those Mike Tannenbaum moments with the shiny objects. That's about it. And I'm not sure so much about the owner. Maybe the owner was just influenced because, he had to deal with the head coach. And the head coach was, a pain in the ass and wanted the guy and hated Tua. But either way, I can tell you this. I bet nobody in the front office really wanted Deshaun Watson. That was more a concoction from the head coach / possibly the owner. If not, because the owner's buddy's the one that probably wanted the Tom Brady thing. Because that's probably what it was. It was probably more Flo wanted Deshaun, and the owner and his buddy Bruce, they were like, hey, let's go get Brady. That kind of makes more sense to me. Kind of makes more sense to me that Flo was the Deshaun Watson guy, and Ross really was with Bruce on the Tom Brady side of it. And I think the front office was just with their hands tied. They were like, oh, my God, we can't control this head coach. He's a pain in the ass. And now the owner has got this love affair with this because of his partner. I think that's kind of the way it was working out. But you've got to suspend this guy indefinitely. It's the right move. It is the right move. All right, if you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, that's 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there. As always, that's a 24-hour talk show there on Twitter. Always active and appreciate it. And don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button while you're watching or while you're listening on the podcast. JM in Compton says, Big O, Val Kilmer in Willow or Tom Cruise in Legend. Love the show. Cruise in Legend. All right. The man with the Montreal plan is in the house. Alan Poupart ready to go with our Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report.
Let's get ready to talk Dolphins football. It's the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. With locations throughout South Florida, Sports Grill is the home of the special grilled wings. Check out our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road in 114th and in Miami Lakes in the Royal Oaks Plaza. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Alan Poupart.
How are you doing? How was your weekend?
Uneventful, relaxing, nice, all of the above.
It's a good weekend.
Yeah, nothing
really is.
Recharging the batteries until the craziness of training camp starts all up again in late July.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, middle July, right? Like 19 starts the rookies, right? So, hell,
yeah.
It's like earlier.
Yeah, but there's nothing. That's all behind the scenes. There's nothing for us, for the media, really, in terms of.
What to like the 20, when are we allowed on the property?
My guess is going to be like the final week of July. I mean, the veterans report July 26th.
Okay.
Yeah, for the first couple of days, it's meetings and conditioning. So yeah, like very last days of July.
Well, I don't know if I talked with you about it last week or the week before. We were talking about it. I wasn't surprised when I saw the report over the weekend on Deshaun Watson possibly getting an indefinite suspension. I thought it was I think that's what the league has to do, because until you can close the damn book, he shouldn't have even been traded before all this mess. That's really the responsible thing. They should have said, hey, commissioner's list, when you resolve all these issues, then you'll be able to be traded, move on, and we can all move on as a league. I think that's why you have to go indefinite here if you can, if you're the NFL. Your thoughts on that report from the Wall Street Journal?
Yeah, my only problem with that is okay, that's fine, that's fair. My only problem with that is if I'm the Cleveland Browns, and regardless of what you think about what they did in making the trade and giving the stupid contract they gave him, I'll be like, why in the hell did you not suspend them all of last year? When Houston could have played him technically had they wanted to, but now we make the trade, and now you're going to decide what has changed since last year. If anything, now he's got some of the lawsuits have been settled, whereas last year at this time none had been settled. So that from that standpoint,
but it grew from last year.
Well,
4 more. It went
correct,
from 22
but you also have 20 that have been settled,
and then 26 now because
that's
we're waiting 2 more.
But you also had none settled last year. Now you got 20 settled. I think it, to me, like on its face, I have no major issue with it. But to me, in the interest of fairness, again, why the hell was he not suspended last year when the circumstances were pretty similar?
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. It's just a matter of now they're figuring out that, hey, we screwed up, and unfortunately, Cleveland, you're going to have to pay the price now. And Houston, by the way, has got to feel like the biggest in the world, in the history of time. It's the greatest one of all time for them to be able to unload that guy and get the haul that they got. And I mean, like somebody just put on the chat board, Cleveland traded all those picks and paid all that money to end up starting Jacoby Brissett.
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah, unless they can find a way to magically mend the fences with Baker Mayfield for a year.
I don't think that happens, right? Because Baker will be a dick and he won't understand. See, the thing is, Baker will allow his anger to cloud him when he doesn't realize that this is the chance of a lifetime for him, because wherever they trade you won't be better than the situation you're in right now. So you'll be in a really good offense and you have a chance to play whatever it is, 10, 12, 16, 17 games if you play the whole season. And if you kick ass, then you're going to have people in demand for you instead. And now you'll have a chance to possibly go where you want to go instead of now getting traded to a place that might assist in your failure. In other words, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's the screwed up part about all of that I don't know if Baker could handle it professionally.
again, and you may appeal to the competitor in him to say, okay, you want to go up in Seattle and run for your life behind that really bad offensive line, or do you want to play with Cleveland, which heading into the 2021 season was viewed as a legitimate contender and should have been a legitimate contender.
And best running game in the NFL, dude.
Correct.
That's any quarterback loves to have that, man. Please.
Yeah. And stud pass rusher, stud cornerback. No, so I don't know. But there's going to be a lot of butt smooching that needs to be done on the Browns' part toward Mayfield to again fix that bridge that kind of been blown up already.
Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know how they do that with that guy. There are certain people. Look at Matt Ryan. In the face of everything, the guy gave you 20 years of great service, was a hell of a quarterback for you. So you're deciding on trading him, and he delays his bonus for you and everything. You know what I mean? These are things that just, you can't. And he gave you an entire career. He had every reason to be pissed and mother F you and everything, and yet he handled it, like most of us probably wouldn't, to be honest. You know what I mean? And those situations are few and far between. I don't think Baker could compartmentalize to handle it that way.
No, I think on the surface that would be my impression too. But I think again, you appeal to his, you appeal to you push the right buttons, and maybe you get him to decide. You know what? Let me kick ass for one last season there in Cleveland and set myself up to choose where I want to go next year.
Cap for Life says, Alan, your thoughts, please. Real talk. Yeah, because you're not honest. Would you play Waddle and Tyreek on special teams the first 5 weeks of the season, knowing how important it is, or would you keep them parked in the garage?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I think you can't ask that question. Because
you can.
Because we really don't know who the returner is, and maybe they actually have somebody that's actually pretty damn good. And the only reason I would ever use Waller or Tyreek would be in a end of a quarter situation, end of a game situation. I'm behind a score, whatever. But I don't want to use Waller or Tyreek anyway on a consistent basis because I'm going to overuse them on offense all the time. So first of all, we need to know, do they have a returner? Have they developed one? Is there one on the roster? And then when we find out there is or isn't, then we can then go to that question. That's what I mean why you can't really answer it until we have the facts.
Oh, no, I can answer it right now. Real talk. Well, Cedric Wilson returned 14 punts for the Cowboys last year. So he's experienced doing it. Now, having said that, his average was 3.3. Having said that, as much as we love Jakeem, and Jakeem is a fabulous punt returner.
The dream.
The truth is the dream. He had one punt return for a touchdown with the Bears last year, and the rest of the time that play is fairly inconsequential in the big picture as opposed to offense and defense. Kickoff returns we already know is basically 85% touchbacks. So my answer is a very definitive. You do everything in your power. If I'm the coach, if I have any say, do not use Hill or Waddle. And you mentioned like end of half or end of game situation.
Desperation.
Well, but that makes sense. But logically, the flip side to that is, let's say the Dolphins are down by 5 and they're going to receive a punt with 2 minutes left. You put Tyreek Hill there. If I'm the coach on the other side, I'm telling my punter, you put that punt out of bounds or you get the trip tomorrow.
Yeah.
So the impact there is limited. So very real talk. No, I don't put Hill or Waddle on special teams. I avoid that like the plague.
Well, I counter it. I put Waddle and Hill on each side. Go ahead, bitch. Try to coffin kick it. Let's go. I got you.
No, I'm punting out of bounds. I'll give up 10 yards to punting out of bounds. You're not. You remember the Giants and Eagles when they punted to Deshaun Jackson with like in the final? Those dumbasses.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, those guys I would not use. That would be my thing. But again,
or Javon Holland.
Yeah, let's just wait till find out. Maybe you have a really good returner overall, and you don't have to worry about that. It's not like you didn't have a great one last year and you had to trade him because Flo didn't like the dream.
Ball security was an issue with him too. So
6 fumbles in his career. We made a little too much of it, bro. Total was
dude, hold on. I know you love the guy.
Total was 6.
Hold on. Do you remember the Buffalo game in the week 2?
I know. Yes.
Well, the final score was 35-0, but it was actually fairly close in the first half, and the Dolphins got in the red zone a couple of times, and one of those ended with Grant fumbling at like the 4 or 5 yard line.
I know he's screwed up, but we make it sound like it happens every game, and it really was like 6 times in his whole career. And so, I sometimes I can take the bad with the good when I know what he also does, no one else does. And that's also you have to kind of, give it a little bit of love where it balances out a little bit, because he's a really good returner and most people can't do what he does as a returner. That's all. You know what I mean? By the way, where did he re-sign with the Bears? I even forgot now.
Cleveland.
Oh my God. The Browns are going to the Super Bowl already.
There you go.
They've got Jakeem Grant, bro. Of course. Yeah. They're going to the Super Bowl. I mean, come on. Damn. I'll tell you. All right. So Dolphins, are they set? Are you hearing anything? Any kind of moves? What do we know?
Dead period. That's just like snooze time. No news is good news. Wouldn't anticipate anything. The next news that's going to come out of the Dolphins is when they release their training camp schedule, which will be, I don't know, this week, next week, sometime, because some teams have already released it. We already know, like Tampa Bay, for example, released it, and we know the exact times. We knew the dates already with using logic of the joint practices with Tampa Bay, which is the 10th and 11th, that Wednesday and Thursday before they play on Saturday. Going to be the same thing with the Eagles. Going to be Wednesday, Thursday joint practices. And then the rest of the training camp practice schedule will come out soon. Outside of that, maybe before, like in a couple of weeks, if they are to make a move, maybe that happens. Like when a JC Treader signs, for example, logically it should be like fairly close to the start of training camp.
Yeah, obviously that guy wanted the whole offseason.
Who can blame him?
No, I can't. By the way, I just saw where the Bengals season tickets are sold out. Did you see that?
Not surprised.
Huh?
I did not see that, but I'm not surprised.
By the way, and Sean just sent me something. I did not see this. Texans are now subject of a lawsuit regarding the handling of alleged Deshaun Watson misconduct. Yeah, because of the whole hotel and all that stuff. If they ended up facilitating their masseuses and where to get the massage and the NDA, right? I think also. Weren't they providing the NDA? I think also it was part of it.
Not sure. This is like a story that'll never end. We'll be doing this show 3 years from now. We'll still be talking about it.
Busby just said today we filed the first case of what will likely be many against the Houston Texans related to Deshaun Watson's behavior. Suffice it to say, the overwhelming evidence collected indicating that the Houston Texans enabled Watson's behavior is incredibly damning. We believe the Texans knew, or most certainly should have known, of Watson's conduct. Beyond that, we believe the filing speaks for itself. By the way, the Texans might be giving back some of those draft picks they got from the Browns. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, doggy! If they prove that you were facilitating all of this, oh man.
Well, then they can argue with the Browns that the Browns should have done their homework. They should have done. I don't know. I don't know the mechanics to undo a trade with these particular circumstances. It's pretty much unprecedented anyway.
Oh, so. I don't think they'll undo the trade. I think you just
or even tweak it. No, tweak it. You know,
I just can't see them doing that. I can't see them.
No, I don't either.
What you do is if Houston is guilty of all of this, then you're going to be fining them and maybe draft picks. So that might be a way of, because it won't be a fine of money, because that's a joke. You don't fine an NFL team money. They print freaking money. You know what I mean? They can resolve our deficit in our country if they really wanted to. Jesus Christ, the amount of money. Did you see what they're getting for no less for their NFL ticket? $2 billion.
Yep.
$2 billion. Just the NFL ticket.
It's a money machine.
Like Amazon, It's Amazon, Apple, and who's the other powerhouse? That's Amazon, Apple, and man, I forgot which is the other one, but it's like 3 powerhouse.
Not Sling, is it?
Apple, Amazon, and no, not Sling. No, much bigger than Sling.
Oh, sorry.
Wait a minute. I got it here. Here it is. Disney.
Oh, there you go. There you
go. Jesus Christ. 2 billion of them is nothing. All those outlets make so much money.
Correct.
How crazy is that? All right. What are you working on? Sports Illustrated, alldolphins.com, so folks can bookmark it and check it out.
Continuing the countdown. Today was number 73.
Oh, yeah.
Number 1 should be obvious. 2 people of a certain age. And today I have a Dolphin mailbag spotlight involving one quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. Left-hander like me.
Shocker.
Yes.
Shocker. I'm a weird left-hander. Like I write left-handed, but I eat right-handed. I bat right-handed. I shoot left-handed. It's weird. I do some things left-handed. I do some things right-handed, but I'm not ambidextrous. I can't do them. Huh?
You throw lefty or righty?
Righty.
I'll see.
How weird is that, dude? I throw righty, and I eat lefty. I write lefty. I shoot lefty. I'm a weirdo, bro.
I throw left.
I don't know how it developed either. I have no idea.
Well, check this out. I throw left, bat right. And there was a time in Major League Baseball, that combination was held by one player, and was Ricky Henderson.
Okay.
Very rare combination.
And a very rare player, too, in Ricky Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about swag. Mm-hmm. That was one guy that played. That's when baseball was baseball. We had some swag, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We had Ozzie Smith doing some somersaults. We had Joe Morgan with the pump. Come on. We had, Mike Schmidt shaking his hips at your ass and then putting it out of the ballpark. Come on, man. I miss that about baseball. I miss the color of baseball. Watching Bill Martin and Reggie Jackson fight in the dugout. Come on, baby. That's baseball.
And you didn't have no hitters that required 3 pitchers.
Yes.
Come on, man.
I'm with you.
I can't win with that.
I know. It's a different game, dude. It's a different game than what we grew up with. It really has changed a lot nowadays in baseball. All right, follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL, and of course, catch him twice a week doing his thing here, the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Report. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time as always.
You have a good one.
You got it. The great Alan Poupart.
This has been the Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Insider Report with Alan Poupart, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and never miss a report. Search Big O Radio Show on most platforms. Visit Sports Grill in our sponsored locations in Miami on Bird Road and 114th and in Miami Lakes in the Royal Oaks Plaza.
Aaron Wilson, by the way, who does an excellent job as an NFL insider, covering the Texans and the NFL. He passes over the statement from the Texans after the lawsuit was filed. We are aware of the lawsuit filed against us today. Since March of 21st, we have fully supported and compiled with law enforcement and the various investigations. We will continue to take the necessary steps to address the allegations against our organization. Ooh, the Texans. They are in some trouble. Lithuania hit by cyber attacks. Russians. All right. Anyway, if you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, that's 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. And folks, if you're looking to do some major reconstruction and remodeling in your home, maybe you want to gut your entire home out and you want to redo it. Maybe you want to add an extension to your home, another room. Maybe you want to add some kind of a Florida room to the back of your house or something along those lines. Maybe you want a big old tent like in the back where you want to put a whole kitchen and all kinds of stuff, call EJD Construction, folks. 305-433-4843, fully insured, liability and all. Do not hire anybody to work at your home that isn't insured. They know the laws better than you do. And those folks know that if they get in trouble, okay, and they get hurt on your property, they can sue you. That's why you better hire people that are insured. Don't hire the dude that picks up 3 guys at Home Depot to show up at your house. That's trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Hire professionals to do the job right. EJD Construction will do it right for you, and construction cost analysis and architectural drawings in the design phase prior to the engineering phase. They will provide that for you. And the construction cost analysis is basically a construction estimate with an added 15 to 30% for contingency and to establish a budget for the construction. They do it all. The bid set, which has a full set of architectural drawings that includes a site plan, mechanical, and plumbing. They will assist you in establishing a budget. Folks, check it out. Go to ejdconstruction.com. Call them 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843. Tell them that Big O sent you, and I promise you they will take care of you at ejdconstruction.com. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Morning O headed back to the 305 after spending some time in Chicago. Beautiful city. That's what Francisco says. Well, be safe in your travels, my friend. Tua to be on Tyreek's next podcast. That's awesome. Soon as Watson says he doesn't want to play for the Texans, week later, lawsuits start piling up. Let's see what else. I am the same, Big O. I throw left-handed and righty. Oh, so that's opposite. I right-left, throw right-handed. So, yeah, but it's the same thing. You're a weirdo like I am. Yeah. And I have no idea how that happened to me. None. Don't know how I became a left-handed writer. I just have no idea how I did some things right-handed and some things left-handed, and then that's just how it stayed that way. You know, it's like normal people are, you're left-handed, you do everything left-handed. You're right-handed, you do everything right-handed. Me, I'm a weirdo. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. But I better not call some of you weirdos. You may get all sensitive on me. All right. What else do we have here going on in the world of deportes? Looking forward to Summer League, by the way. We will be there, Sean and myself, working it, getting all of the press conferences and players and whatever we can get. And we'll pass it on over on the show, too. We'll have a little fun with that. Oh, by the way, rest in peace, Champagnon. And I know those of you that are outside of South Florida probably have no idea. Hell, some of you in Broward and Palm Beach may not even know what the hell Champagnon is. But it's a small private school that started in Hialeah a couple decades ago. And I saw the article. I had no idea that the school was going under. And unfortunately, it actually has closed down now. This is they wrapped up now because of health issues. Now, Champagnon has been around for 55 years. The Alonso family, it was a family-run business. And, man, they went on to win state championships in football and in basketball. And now they're closing the doors because of health issues with the school's director of operations. It was a very, very tough decision, a very, very difficult decision, said Isabel Alonso, whose parents opened the school in 1968. The school's been my family's heart and soul. I was born and raised there. And let me tell you something. as a kid that went to private school here in South Florida for a couple of years, I went to South Florida Military Academy and Intercontinental Military Academy for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. And we used to play Champagnat back in the day, from track and field to volleyball, chess. They were in that group of private schools with us. And over by it's Northwest 7th, where the firemen practice. They have that tall building. It's right off of Northwest 7th and is it 20th maybe? No, not 20th. Might be a little bit more where there's a park that's right by there. There's a Burger King that's close by. Fat people, no food. And then there's that tall house that the firemen practice in. Anyway, I forgot the name of that park there. But we used to go to that park every year. All the small private schools. And a lot of them seem to be Latin-related private schools that were part of it. And so Champagnat grew from that little thing to then going on to win, 4, I think? I wrote down 4 state titles in football in 2A and 1 in basketball. It's pretty impressive. From 2013 to 20, they won 4. They are 10th in South Florida in state titles in football and 20th in the state in the history. It's pretty impressive for a small private school. So hats off to the Alonso family, to Champagnat. Some amazing accomplishments in something that I don't think anybody would have ever expected them to have the kind of success that they had on the level. By the way, Gregory Rousseau, who played for the Canes and plays for the Bills, came from Champagnat. That's kind of the biggest name that came out of their football program. But pretty cool stuff. So I saw that story, had no idea that was going on. And not that I went to it, but I competed against them, and then watched them grow as a program and accomplish all the things that they did. So hats off to the Alonso family in Champagnat, man. You made an impact. You did some great things. All right, we are wrapping up 2 hours here on the program. We got 1 more to go. We got Sean Stanley mastering this program. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll get ready for hour number 3. Marcel Louis-Jacques will join us at 12:30. I've got a couple of basketball notes. I've got something that involves sex and crypto. I got a couple of football notes that I want to talk about too. And we still have our KSDT CPA sports business report. So we got a lot of things to talk about. And of course, your questions right now on the chat board. Don't forget to smash the like button. Whether you're watching right now or you're listening on the podcast, please smash the like button. And please go to our other YouTube page and subscribe. We need to get to 1,000 quickly. Big O Show Cuts, please get us to 1,000 on that one. We need to get to 1,000, por favor. All right, let's take a quick break. Hour number 3 is next.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Caneswear. Go to Caneswear.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Sloman's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com. Licensed roofing contractor. 100% financing is available. Go to Tommy B. Butts Junior Enterprises.com.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
There we go. Got to turn on the mic, bro. That's it's really the only way it works. You know what I'm saying? Ho, 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 ho. All right. Use my left to right, but play ball and guitar right-handed, says Jean-Luc. So there's more weirdos in the world, not just yours truly, huh? Few weeks till training camp, Ronnie says. Chad says, my mom is the same way. Oh, writes lefty, but throws and bats right-handed. Shoots pool right-handed. She says she has to do it with who taught her was right-handed, so that's what it was, and she would mimic. That's probably what I did. The same thing, Chad. I just don't realize, and I don't know why I just started writing left-handed, because my mom was right-handed. Now, my parents never did homework with me ever in my life. I never had my parents that they never even worried about my homework. So it's not like I had my wife was every night right there next to my daughter, working on her penmanship and everything and all that. So she walked her through. But again, my wife is a school teacher. So those are the worst parents to have, by the way, for kids. The worst. If your mom's a teacher, oh, dude, you are screwed so badly. But at least you have a better shot at getting, my parents didn't give a shit about school. And I was just a party animal throughout school. I wasn't a bad dude, but I was a party dude. So I didn't want to have a little too much fun sometimes. Let's see. Jay says, I'm the same. Right and do things right-handed, eat and do other things left-handed. Wow, there's a bunch of weirdos out there. You guys are a bunch of weirdos just like me. Wow, I feel good. Like there's a lot of weirdos. Tank McBride says, Big O, we have to give Ross this credit for telling Watson to clear his name before we traded him. We dodged a big bullet. Well, hold on, Tank McBride, before you go a little too far on the praise. Yeah, solve the 22. At that moment, there wasn't a 23 and a 24. And now we have a 25 and a 26. So you solved the 22, there would have been 4 more after. So no. That's why do you think I keep saying you have to suspend the guy indefinitely? Because you have to sit down and say, ladies and gentlemen, everybody that's in this room, this will move forward when every lawsuit is settled. We are not going to be dragged through as a league and teams through every accusation that you have. Deshaun, you chose to have massages with women all over the country and a whole ton. Well, this is your fault. You brought this on yourself. We have hung in there with you as long as we can. We cannot continue down this path. It is a disturbing path and an embarrassing one for this league. So when you and your agent solve every issue and there are no more, we can then move forward and we will activate you. That's it. Has to be done. It's too much to stay with that guy. Have to do it that way. So, Deebo Samuel still wants out of San Francisco. Did you hear about that? And look, don't start with the stupid Dolphin stories. Okay? He's not coming to the Dolphins. They're not trading for him. They're not going to give up a bunch of stuff for the guy. But I did want to talk about it because see, the thing is, Deebo Samuel is in a very interesting and difficult situation. And why do I say that? Because Deebo Samuel, we really don't know what's going on with Deebo Samuel. We don't know what Deebo Samuel you're going to get because reports say he wants to be a different Deebo Samuel. The question is, can he be as good as he was as the Deebo Samuel that we normally know? The guy that has to run the ball a lot too and break tackles and all of that. So if you're not going to be that guy and you're going to be a wide receiver, are you going to be as productive as the same kind of threat as you are when you're a two-way player? So apparently, the Deebo Samuel request has not been rescinded, according to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN. The Niners, by the way, are still hopeful they can mend the relationship with Deebo Samuel. And his trade request looming, Deebo Samuel showed up to Niners camp earlier in the month. It says, I think it's always been all right, said Kyle Shanahan. I don't want to go through the business part of the league, but I don't think the relationship was ever too far away to not get it back to normal, and we're working on that. Anytime you're away from each other for a while, it's harder. But it's good to get him back in here and start to get around him and the guys again. So here's the thing with Deebo Samuel. And this is going to be the interesting part for Deebo Samuel. Pay attention. Cap space is a problem at this point right now because a lot of people have used up their cap space. Plus, you're going to give up picks for this guy too on top of all of that. So it's going to be a lot harder to come up with a deal right now. So you're going to have to go into the season. So the question is, how much does Deebo Samuel influence San Francisco into changing the way he plays? Because one, if he wants to play the way he normally plays, what's made him Deebo Samuel, you put yourself at an enormous risk, injury risk. And obviously you want that big contract. So the question is, if you're Deebo Samuel, are you going to demand being more of a receiver and less of a running back? Because you're going to say, hey, or your agent's going to say, hey, guys, listen, we love you. We want to be here. We want to sign a contract, but, you know, Deebo can't play the way you're playing him for the rest of his career because he's going to have a very short career. That's the reason why I wouldn't trade for him, by the way. because I would never want a player like that on my team unless I can rent him for a year or two, because if I got to sign him for 4 or 5 years and give him all kinds of money, I'm not sure he's going to make it through that contract. Hell, I'm not even sure he's going to make it through 2 more years of playing like that. Nobody does that. It's not normal. We stop using bell cow running backs. Think about that. Unless you have Derrick Henry or something, you don't use bell cow running backs anymore. Everybody has 2 or 3 backs that they come at you with, because that's the norm nowadays. So the dynamic is going to be really interesting for Deebo Samuel, because if he comes back and San Fran plays him the way they've been playing him, it's not going to be as attractive to other teams, because you have to use common sense. Now you're adding another year of wear and tear playing that way. How much more can he take? So I'm going to be interested to see that if he is going to stay there and sell himself, like what we talked about with Baker in Cleveland, that if Baker's smart, if Deshaun's out for the year, he should be like really nice and really cool about it and want this opportunity to showcase his skills on a really good team, because he might get traded to a shitty team. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens with Deebo Samuel and how he handles this and his agent handles this and how they play him. That will determine how he gets set up for the future. Now, listen, if he gets his fat ass contract from San Francisco, he might just be happy. But if he wants to go for a second contract, he ain't going to make it playing this way. We shall see with Deebo Samuel. He has not rescinded his request for a trade. Let's see how that affects everything going on with him. What else do we have? Oh, the offseason is about mental reps for players. And you go through all these camps and you're running all these plays and you're not really padded up and you're not really hitting, but it's all about running play after play and getting in a mindset that you understand these plays. So when training camp rolls around and now you've got full pads on and you're running it, mentally you already know who you got to block, what route you got to run, what angle you're taking here, who you got to pick up here and this, whatever. Okay, whatever your responsibility is, you already know it because you've run it several times in the offseason. You have your playbook and you got to go through it. So it's really about that. And I always tell people, because the offseason's changed. There's no pads on. You know, back in the day, I used to even see some pads at times in some of the mini camps, and you got to feel for things even a little better than they do nowadays. Ultimately, what you want is for them to get their mental work. And you know what else you want to stay away from is effing injuries. That, to me, ladies and gentlemen, is everything when it comes to the offseason. And when I see that Kayvon Thibodeau for the New York Giants got banged up a little bit, he got a little hip injury, you're like, oh crap, okay? And look, I don't know how good Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be or not, and if his engine or his motor goes all the time, because some people think he doesn't work hard down to down and all that kind of stuff. But Thibodeau apparently tweaked his hip, according to Dan Dugan of The Athletic. So concerned observers noted that Thibodeau spent the offseason in a red jersey working on the sidelines with trainers, and those concerned were not calmed by head coach Brian Daboll's refusal to comment on the issue. Now, the injury is considered minor, and Thibodeau is expected at the start of training camp, Dugan adds. The Giants were excessively cautious with injuries during the spring. So that's the part that you look at and you say, we're going to find out if that was minor or not, and I hope it was. I'm not a Giants fan. I don't give a rat's ass about the Giants, you know, but I don't wish anything bad on the Giants and you Giants fans out there. But that's my fear of the offseason. And hopefully he's not really seriously injured. But this happens a lot in off seasons where teams lose a guy here or there to a knee injury, whatever, and they're gone for the year. And it's just and the part where you're just going through mental reps. And to me, that's where I'm really happy about the Dolphin season, off season. Sure, I'm happy about the acquisitions. I love the coaching staff that they put together. I love the vibe. I love that Tua's comfortable. You know what I mean? Tyreek feels good here. Things are falling into place. I like all of that. My favorite thing of this offseason, no major injuries at all, man. That's a beautiful thing. Because it is brutal to trade for Dan Marley and he blows out his back. Okay? It's terrible that you trade for Dan Marley and you never get to see Thunder Dan. You had to see the other perimeter Dan is the guy that we ended up getting. Unfortunately, not his fault. It's just a freakish injury. And what are you going to do? But we've had it before where guys in the offseason, they blow a ligament, they blow whatever, and they're done. And it just puts a damper on your season without even starting your season. And if there's one thing that I'm blessed and happy about with the Dolphins, is that. That's my number one thing, that their draft pick. You know, I don't care if Shannon Tindall, as a third rounder, suffered a knee injury. I would be devastated because that would be your top pick, a kid that we think has obviously a lot of potential to become your middle linebacker, and now he's out for the. Remember, not that he ended up turning into a player. What was the linebacker that the Dolphins got, and he blew his knee out on a special teams play in the first play of the game. It was like 5-6 years ago. He was like a second-round pick. I forgot the kid's name now. Now I'm brain farting. But you know what I'm talking about. Those are the things and that was in the offseason. That was like the start of the right. But basically, it felt like the offseason because the kid really didn't get to play the season. You know? I know we traded him to the Raiders and God, what's his name? Raekwon McMillan. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you, Vaughn. Appreciate it. Isaiah, thank you, sir. I love you all out there. Cameron, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Chad says, thank you. That's what I've been telling my friends. Cap space is huge, and we have 3 guys that can play that role he plays, and it spreads out the load, and you're not killing the player. Actually, Chad, they have like 6 guys. Yeah. Think about this. Here are the guys playing the Deebo Samuel role, okay? On the receiver side and bubble screens, Tyreek and Waddle. That's 2. You want a guy that's going to maybe run the end arounds and all that? Okay. Ezukama and Said. Because Cedric Wilson's 6'2". So he might go on an end around and they hand it off to him and he's off and running. That's 4. Alec Ingold. That's 5. He's going to do some of the running. He's going to do some of the pass catching, some of the things that Deebo Samuel does. Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert. 7 guys. 7 guys are going to play the Deebo Samuel role, is what I've been talking about the entire offseason for months now. I told you why they didn't need Deebo Samuel, because what Mike McDaniel did was he designed an offense to do some of the Deebo Samuel plays, but individually. And like what you just said, Chad, so you don't wear one guy out. But the physical plays will be done by the 2 giant receivers, Ezukama and Said, Alec Ingold. The bubble stuff and all that other stuff will be done by the speed guys. So you'll separate what you're going to do. Chase Edmonds will do a lot of the things that Deebo Samuel does. Some of them might be a bubble screen. Something might be an end around. Something might be right up the middle or whatever. So, yeah, that's the idea of all of that. Okay? Lynn Bowden Jr. has to first make the team, but he could be part of that mix also. I like him, but we there's a lot of guys that you're going to put in front of Lynn Bowden Jr. before Lynn Bowden Jr. gets there, because Lynn Bowden Jr. hasn't proven anything yet. As much as I like his skill set, I'm not counting on somebody that has never done anything yet. So all the other guys I talked about, except for Azukama, but Azukama has a skill set that's what because he's big, So I think that's why they drafted him, to do stuff like that. So yeah, and yes, Lynn might be in that mix also. Could be the eighth guy. But again, you can only have active so many people. Remember, you think of Lynn Bowden, right? And first you have to think of Tyreek. You've got what's it called? Waddle. You've got Azukama's your draft pick. Cedric's your free agent. That's 4 already. You brought the kid from San Francisco who's a special teamer. That's 5. So Lynn Bowden's job to make this team is going to be a very difficult one to make this team. It's not as easy as some of you make it out to be. There's been this thing with Dolphin fans this offseason. Some of you actually thought he could be Deebo Samuel. Like a guy that hasn't done jack shit in the NFL. All of a sudden, you have him playing like Deebo Samuel. He wasn't good enough to make the team last year that kept 7 receivers. But yet you have him as Deebo Samuel, because that's what I got from some of you Dolphin fans in the offseason. Like, what are you smoking? I like his skill set, but he hasn't done anything. And when you go look at that roster, he's up against it to make it. It's not going to be an easy roster for him to make. The fact that they drafted Azukama and the fact that they signed Cedric, that was not good for him at all. So it's Lynn Bowden, it's Preston Williams, it's a bunch of cats that are fighting for one spot probably on that team. So the ideal world that our receivers stay healthy all season. Last season was a nightmare for our receivers. Well, that's because Rosendo, they kept too many injury-prone receivers on the roster. And you just can't keep doing that. If PJ Tucker can play the 4 with his limited offense, then Bam can play the 4. Bam has a handle, and I think the Heat would be smart to develop the kid's mid-range game and develop a usual 3. He was in Flo's doghouse, so that's why he was on the IR. Either way, my brother, he didn't make the team. So, what can I tell you? And he still is going to have a really difficult situation to make that team. Look at the numbers. Look at the people there. Rock Island Fest 2023 in Key West. January 17th through the 21st. Next year. Styx, Tesla, Loverboy, 38 Special, Queensryche, Extreme. Whoa. Stephen Percy, Striper, Steven Adler, Quiet Riot. Nobody left from Quiet Riot. Enough Said, Honeymoon Suite, Helix. God, I haven't heard of Helix in forever. Is it the same Helix from the late 80s, right? From MTV days? Black and Blue, Autograph. They just lost their singer like a year and a half ago. So Wigwam, Jet Boy, and Pretty Boy Floyd, hosted by Eddie Trunk. That's not bad. Dude, Key West, you get to see Styx, Tesla. I love Tesla. I'm a big Tesla fan. Like an enormous Tesla. I love Tesla. Loverboy, 38 Special. I like Queensryche. Even this version without what's it called? Jeff Tate. Extreme, man. That's pretty cool. I know if NorCal is watching right now, NorCal, January 17th through the 21st. Key West, dude. You can smoke lots of fatties and then watch Extreme. Just saying. So July to be in TBA July 3rd. Wait a minute, but how come it says January 17th through the 21st above, and then it says TBA July 3rd? Oh, I see. Oh, they're going to announce another band besides Styx, Tesla, and Loverboy on July 3rd. But it is January 17th through the 21st. Rock Island Fest 2023. That's pretty good. That's not a bad show to go to. It's not a bad show to go out and stay in Key West for a couple days. I won't be able to do that because I know at that time, right around then is the East West and Senior Bowl. So we probably will be traveling, unfortunately. Famous left-handed people: Neil Armstrong, Leonardo da Vinci, Paul McCartney, Napoleon Bonaparte, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton. Big O, looking back at this whole Will Fuller idea, he robbed the Dolphins. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Preston make the team? Nah. Why would you even think? Preston, I think, has no shot at making the team. He doesn't bring it, dude. He's weak like Doge. Maybe that's why he doesn't make it. Because he likes Dogecoin. I don't know. But yeah, he's weak sauce. So what a shame, too, with Preston Williams. So gifted. Really does suck. Hola, Big O. I saw Obi-Wan Kenobi this weekend. Awesome. You're right. The next series should be Vader. Yeah, I would love to see a Vader series. Be awesome. Big O, I was watching Steve Bartkowski. Man, he was a stud. Yep. It was just on bad teams. But Steve Bartkowski was a hell of a player. Had an arm. My God, he can flick it down to 80 yards. Fascination was awesome, Big O. Are you talking about Fascination Street from the Cure? Is that what we're talking about? Down on Fascination Street. Well, Marcel popped in. I was just about to talk about sex workers and crypto. But since Marcel Louis-Jacques just popped in, we'll hold off on that story of sex workers and crypto. Because I know you want to hear about this story of sex workers and crypto. That's for sure. And we got an NFL player on a U.S. track team also. So we'll give you those stories on the other side. But before we do that, it is time to get a little energy. You go to myedgedrink.com to get the finest energy drink on the planet. That is Edge Energy Drink, and use our code Big O to get 10% off shipping anywhere in the country, man. Go to myedgedrink.com. I promise you, the best energy drink on the planet. Delicious, smooth, zero aftertaste. John is a beast. He has come up with the best energy drink on the planet. Go to myedgedrink.com. It's an amazing elixir. Mixing it up with a little vodka, with a little Grey Goose. It's dangerous because you don't even taste a Grey Goose. That's how good it is. All right, let's get to a little football talk. Marcel Louis-Jacques and our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report.
Time to get the edge on the Miami Dolphins with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins report. When you want the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste, you can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com. Here's the ESPN Dolphin insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
All righty, there he is. He's ready to go.
Always ready to go, man. Always going, big fella.
So you want me to talk about sex workers and crypto?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Absolutely not.
Want to make sure. I watched Obi-Wan last week, finished it up. Somebody just said they finished up watching it. Do you watch any of that stuff?
I have a hot Obi-Wan Kenobi take.
Holy shit.
That Vader. All right, so spoiler alert, man. I'm sorry for everybody, but the Vader and Kenobi scene.
Hold on. Give him a couple more seconds.
Just mute for a second.
Mute 3.
It's not that big of a spoiler. I mean, you kind of figure it was going to happen,
but just in case they get pissed off. So here comes a mini spoiler alert from Marcel. Spoiler. Go ahead. What do you got?
The fight between Vader and Kenobi in the last episode was the coolest lightsaber scene Star Wars has ever done. And I say this because, yes, I realize there's probably more at stake with Anakin and Obi-Wan in Return of the Sith, whatever it's called, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. There's more at stake. Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon was the saving grace of the Phantom Menace and all that. Return of the Jedi, obviously had a lot of emotional value. But the one thing that we have missed from the Star Wars universe is more prime Darth Vader. We get almost no prime Darth Vader. When he fights Obi-Wan in The New Hope, I could fall asleep.
Remember, he gave up on that one to turn spiritual and
he did, but come on, man, that version of Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but he did it to help out Luke at that time.
But I'm saying that version of Obi-Wan is giving nobody buckets at all. There's no way.
Right.
Empire Strikes Back is really cool just because of the I am your father line, if we're being honest.
Right.
But we don't, by then, man, Vader is what, 50, give or take? I want 29-year-old fresh into the suit Darth Vader. I want to see the peak of his powers. I want to see him snatch a spaceship out of the air and bring it down to Earth and tear it apart.
Well, that's what I've been saying, that the next Disney has to do a Vader, because you've done a Mandalorian, Boba Fett, you have to do a Vader, bro. There has to be a Vader, and it has to be like a couple seasons.
The problem is that he's going to do some despicable things, and I don't know if Disney wants to highlight all of them, but I don't care, man. Make it TVMA.
Bro,
TVMA, and then I want to see Vader. I want to see Vader terrorize the galaxy.
Isn't Disney? Didn't they do the dark Willy Wonka?
I don't know if it was purposely dark. I think it was just strange.
Dude, compared to the original, it's dark as hell.
The original one is the original Willy is a wild boy too. But this is just odd. It had Johnny Depp being weird. It was just weird. I don't know if that was Disney though.
But it's Vader. You got to expect him to do a lot of bad stuff. You know what I mean? But in a way, what the good thing about it is you can kind of do the stuff of how we saw him transition into Vader and all that. So we need to kind of see, more the depth of all that stuff with Vader. Yeah. I think that would be one that would be. And by the way, I love that Disney has done this to kind of keep the series alive, the franchise alive by going in all these directions. I think it's super cool, man.
Yeah, I love it, man. It was like him walking through a village and just finding a random family and choking them out. It was just wow, we really get to see this. And I sound, I got to throttle it back because I want to be sound so excited about Vader.
We're geeking on it.
That was objectively cool, man. It was objectively. I want to see Vader who doesn't quite have control of his anger yet, and still loses his concept of his surroundings. Who still can't funnel his attention. And even the Emperor had to tell him "Hey, bro, you good?" it feels like you're putting a little too much attention into this Obi-Wan thing,
Stop with the stuff. Don't say anymore, because now you're
a spoiler.
Yeah, that's kind of watch it, folks. It was amazing. One of the best endings too. That ending was just absolutely awesome. You know, you'll ask yourself a question to that ending, by the way.
I said nothing about endings, nothing about outcomes, nothing about nothing.
I'm just saying, but we're not giving anything away, but you watch it. Watch it. Chad says Marcel needs to read the Marvel comic run of Vader by Carry-On Gillen from 2015. That whole run is based on his prime. There you go.
I gotta look that up. I gotta look it up.
All right, there you go. So you're getting Molina wants Jabba the Hutt.
A Jabba the Hutt spinoff, man.
Who's the one character that you would see a spin-off of that you would never think about? It would be something like that, like Jabba the Hutt, which is really not Jabba, but something else out there that might be interesting in the whole Star Wars thing. Who's the one character that we might go, maybe we could, that one might not be so bad. Who's the under the radar character?
Under the radar character. And this is, spanning all 9 movies.
All of them. Like if you say Jar Jar Binks or something, which that would be terrible.
I would hate that. Low-key, man, the Phantom Menace, I went back and watched it the other day. I know I'm not answering your question yet, but Phantom Menace is low-key extremely racist. Extremely racist. Like the depictions of characters are like, yeah, this is definitely made in 1999. It would not fly in 2021. There's no way it would be met without backlash. But I think maybe a Padme rise to being queen would be, I don't know. I always thought her character was boring, but it would make sense. A Finn the Stormtrooper would maybe make a little sense. Who else have we got in this universe? It's kind of, you can't say young Kenobi anymore because they already did a new one. I like this idea about Darth Maul. I feel like he was gone too soon.
Right.
Or just a Palpatine. Call it Palpatine. About his training and him killing his master in his sleep, and how he rose to become senator and then chancellor and the Sith Lord. So that's fine. Marcel refused to condemn Cosby. Have you ever asked me about Bill Cosby?
No. Why would I?
I don't know what this kid is talking about.
I mean, we have disturbing things at times that are like, sex workers and crypto I brought up to you, but no, Cosby hasn't been in the news for me to bring him up to you. Like
I ignore a lot of these comments because I feel like people comment and like they just want to like be acknowledged and it'll make their day. So I'm gonna make Steven's day, but like I refuse to condemn Cosby, and OJ is interesting. I don't think we've ever talked about Cosby or OJ.
No,
but either way, they just come. I was like,
why would you defend any of those two idiots?
Like, what in the world? Like, people just make things up. Like
Cosby and OJ, bro. Come on.
Yeah. There's a tweet that I love where somebody is like, man, people on the internet will just make up arguments. Like somebody will be out there saying, oh, but I was told Steph Curry wasn't a good shooter. Like, bro, what are you talking about? Who are you? Where are you pulling this information from? But that was like I said, they caught my attention. I was like, in what world?
Yeah.
Darth Maul would be cool. But I don't know. The more I talk about
time that I've known you, I think you have enough common sense not to defend OJ or Cosby. So that's kind of weird.
What? Yes, you did, Marcel. You did in this dream that I had 3 nights ago. You refused to do it. But okay, I like a Yoda prequel. Anything Mace Windu.
That's I think that would be a really good one, is Yoda, because we need to find out about Yoda more, man.
Like, okay, but do we want a Yoda prequel, or do we want Yoda post Order 66?
Oh, I want a Yoda prequel to find out how he became Yoda, bro. How he must have had like some serious stuff go on in the past where he was like kicking some ass. I was watching some of the cartoons from the Clone Wars over the weekend, because now, you go to, if you have Disney Plus now, you can, everybody taught me this last week. They have in order, chronologically, everything, all the movies and all the different series, cartoons and all. And so I'm actually watching those cartoons now to kind of piece it all together. And in the Clone Wars, Yoda had to do some nasty stuff. And I don't want to ruin it for anybody. That thing is really old already. It's been around for a while, but that's the kind of stuff that you can now make, the movies.
Yeah, I need to watch I really do need to watch the cartoons, the Clone Wars.
They're actually pretty good, man. The cartoons are actually pretty good. They're not cheesy, in other words. They're actually real storytelling, and there's a lot of stuff.
Look, I like animation, not just like regular, run of the mill cartoon, like children's cartoons, but like I like animated series, dude. It's not Star Wars, but I just finished Invincible on Amazon Prime. I think I watched it's 8 episodes, but I think I watched them all in like 3 days, man. Like it's incredible content. It's extremely bloody for a cartoon, but it's an amazing show. A little bit of depth, a little bit of humor. Almost has like an anime feel to it as well, but I'm not sure if it quite qualifies as anime. But you can push the boundaries a little bit more with the cartoon than you can with a real, with the live, what is it called? Live animation, live action.
Right.
Live action.
Yeah. By the way, Eddie says Yoda prequel is the one that I want the most. Yeah, that's. I think it would be interesting to see how Yoda became Yoda, man. That would be kind of.
Who's Yoda's tree? Who's Yoda's tree? Was Qui-Gon?
Ben and Qui-Gon, yeah. But then there might be other things. like Samuel Jackson's character. I forgot his name in the damn show, but he might be one of Yoda's guys. You know what I mean? Because he's always there with in the council.
Like we don't know much about. We're just kind of like presented with like here we are. What about even just like a founding of the Jedi? You know what I mean? Like how did this?
Right. How did
they develop the council? How did these people?
How did the dark side and
how did they split? Like they are literally. This is an unlimited money fountain. Star Wars is an unlimited. Like there was no price too high to pay for the rights to Star Wars. Like we just came up with at least 6, 7 ideas that are would make crazy money if you just make them. Like Star Wars would eat it up right there. They're gonna they'll bitch and moan about a stormtrooper being black or about a female Jedi, and then they're gonna go watch the content anyways, and then they'll bitch and moan on the internet again. But they're still gonna watch. Like you, so
yeah, but but that's pretty interesting. The birth of the Force and the dark side, and how it developed, and all that. That would be freaking awesome to find out how that developed in early Jedis and the early forces from the Dark Force and all that kind of. I think that's
100%. The hell out of that.
Would be awesome. All right, so let me get some football in. Deshaun Watson, indefinite suspension, which is what I thought they should do. It's not a sure thing or anything, but your thoughts on that report from the Wall Street Journal over the weekend?
I think it's the NFL having to make a strong stance right now. In the past, like I've said before, the NFL has disappointed millions of its fans habitually with its response to with its disciplinary response to certain situations involving, domestic violence and whatnot. But this has gotten so much attention, and it's been so drawn out that, and we're still getting new details about it. There is just no conceivable way they can give him the same, slap on the wrist, essentially punishment, especially after the PR hit it took when he got the $230 fully guaranteed $1 million contract. Like then the foundation was already laid for, okay, here we go again. This is going to be another situation where somebody allegedly does something heinous off the field and is basically tickled with a feather and told, okay, like people forget about it. Don't worry. The cycle will continue. So I think, this is the NFL saying, all right, for what we think is happening, for what you were cleared in a criminal trial for, but are still receiving civil cases for, you can't play for a year. There's just no way. We're not going to let you play. And then we're going to hold you out indefinitely while this stuff clears out. So over the next year, while you're sitting out, while this legal situation continues to play out, we're going to reserve the right to keep you off the field. If somehow this situation resolves itself, if your guilt is proven, sorry, you couldn't play for a year, but you did put yourself in this situation to an extent. Like there's a clause in NFL players' contract. It's conduct detrimental to the league. And whether he did something or not, whether he actually did what he's accused of doing or not, by putting himself in that situation, by getting so many massages outside of the team's sphere, you put yourself in this situation to happen. Not to mention, man, look, I try to stop short of just actively accusing people before any legal situation is fully resolved. But look, man, 25 people, 25 women,
26
women. 26. It's like I said, it's still growing. It's still more every day.
Remember, it was 22, and then they added the 2. That was 24, and now we're waiting for 2 more that are 25 and 26.
Look, man, it's just that if 2 people come with the same story, you start to say, oh, okay, maybe there's something there. If 4 people come with the same story, then it's like, okay, wow, this might have actually happened. When 26 people have the same story about you.
Yeah. No, dude, there's something wrong with that guy.
Look, man, like I understand that there are cases.
And Marcel, in the end, what the NFL is going to try to do now is what they should have done initially. And he should have never been traded or anything. He should have been put on ice on that commissioner's list right from the get-go and say, all right, when you guys resolve all your legal issues, then we'll activate you and then you can move on with your life. And if Houston wants to trade you, then they trade you and all of that. They made this an even bigger mess. It's kind of like the Ray Rice thing that you do the 2 games and then the video comes out and then you have to then respond the right way. And I think that's kind of what it is. They screwed up. They mishandled it initially, and now they're going to try to make up for it again.
But they have to. The NFL has to come out strong because, like I said, the fact that he was traded and given this historic contract, like it already laid the foundation for, in people's expectations of what the league would do. It laid the foundation for another mediocre punishment, a mundane slap on the wrist. And
by the way, let me read you this that I'm reading while I'm talking to you, because sometimes you have to multitask here. So the lawsuit and the owner of Genuine Touch, a massage therapy company that partnered with the Texans, reported Watson's habit of seeking unusually high number of massages from strangers on Instagram to the Texans in early of June 2020, but the franchise did nothing. The lawsuit owner, Johnny Hone, complained to the Texans that her stated concern to the Texans was that Watson was putting himself in danger of contacting COVID or getting himself sued, the lawsuit says. We were aware of the lawsuit filed against us today, the Texans said in a statement. Since March of 21st, we have fully cooperated and compiled with law enforcement in various investigations. We will continue to take the necessary steps to address the allegations against our organization. Now, listen to this. Genuine Touch employees were well aware of what they described as Watson's sketchiness and attempts to push boundaries. According to the lawsuit, Holmes says she was aware of what she called Watson's towel trick, using a small towel rather than the industry-required draping. Multiple individuals from Genuine Touch were also aware that during at least one massage session, Watson had humped the table and left a wet spot.
Yeah.
My man was humping tables.
Look,
this horny sumbitch had to screw tables, not just women. I mean, this guy's got problems.
Look, man, again, if 26 people allege the same thing, we're taught that when there's smoke, there's generally fire. And look, man, I understand that there are cases of extortion and of people lying on athletes' names or rich people's names and, hoping for a payday. I understand that that's happened in the past. But that's not 26 people. It's
there's so much smoke and fire here that Wiz Khalifa is present right now. That's how much smoke there is right now. Okay,
it's just it's gross. The allegations are gross.
You can't be a table around Watson. The tables aren't safe around Deshaun Watson. Think about that. I mean, Browns, I just want you can't have a table in the building. He's going to screw it.
It is so hard to believe, man. And not hard to believe, but it just it blows you away. It blows you away.
Humping a table, bro, and left a wet spot?
Because, I mean, he had nothing but, at least publicly, he had nothing but good.
Right? We had the
what's the word I'm looking for here? Nothing but positive support around him and energy around him. I mean, this is a man who paid to help families after. I think he donated his first NFL check to Texans employees who lost their home or something along the lines of that.
No, it's not. It's that helped them pay the bills through the pandemic because of some of the issues that they were having with money. Obviously, yeah, he came through. Yeah, he does. He's done some really good things, and his image was impeccable. We looked at him and we thought he was kind of like a gentleman. You know what I mean? That kind of dude. Because
looked at him as a good guy.
That's how he carried himself.
More or less.
Clean.
I mean, I've heard some stories from when he was at Clemson because I got there the year after he left. And so, I know some stories about what him and women, but it was never, the stories I heard were never, illegal or were never inappropriate. It was more along the lines of, superstar college quarterback in a football crazed school.
Right.
I'm hearing it. It was more like, wow, his guest home. He rented someone's guest home when he was in town for a weekend, and it was a turnstile. Is what I.
Well,
it's like you hear that, and you're like, all right, like college quarterback, like, yeah, you get it. But it was never. I never had heard anything, where women were like, he made me uncomfortable. He made me, he did anything.
The only quarterback that isn't banging half the co-eds is Tim Tebow. Outside of that, every other quarterback is banging half the co-eds.
So
they're all in line right outside his dorm. So I get that.
It's extremely disappointing. It blows you away and it reminds you that, public perception and public image aren't always accurate. That they're behind everybody that you see. I'm not saying everyone, every athlete, every celebrity is a bad person in real life or is a different person than what they portray, but behind every celebrity, almost everyone that you see is an entire team dedicated to conveying a certain image.
Yeah.
Sometimes the image and the person do not intersect.
Yep. No, it's certainly not the case here. All right. What are you working on anything this week, or are you still off?
I'm working on my bag, man. I'm working on my laundry right now. I'm working on finding my passport. I'm working on, finding my barber. I'm getting a little trim because I'm out of the country on Wednesday.
Not Watson trim, the other kind of trim. I got you.
I am out. Lady and I are going to the Bahamas, and only thing I'm going to miss is Thursday. I think Tua is going to be on Tyreek Hill's podcast.
So you can catch it in the Bahamas, bro. They have internet.
I have asserted that I will not work when I'm out of town. That this will finally be the first vacation I ever take where I'm not taking my laptop. I'm not getting an international plan. I'll check social media every now and then whenever I'm in the hotel. But beyond that, I'm trying to disconnect and really be in the moment. And especially since, that phone is going with me everywhere I go as soon as I get back. So, or starting in July, end of July, we're back into shower with my phone season and can't miss an update season. So, I'm going to disconnect for a few days just to allow my mind to reset.
All right. Good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. And you can catch him twice a week here doing his thing of course, with our Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins Insider Report. Marcel, thank you, my friend. Enjoy the week.
Always, man. I could talk Star Wars forever, so that was great. Almost forgot. That's why I do football for a living.
Thank you, my brother.
All right.
Appreciate you. You got it. Marcel L.J.
You now have the edge on the Miami Dolphins with the Edge Energy Drink Miami Dolphins Report featuring ESPN's Marcel Louis-Jacques. Get the energy drink that's delicious and smooth with zero aftertaste. You can only order Edge Energy Drink at myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com.
All right. So the dude was humping tables and leaving wet spots. Damn, bro. That's just nasty, like in every way. Don't forget, folks, Liquor Split, a proud sponsor of our program, and we just told you about Edge Energy Drink. You can order myedgedrink.com, get 10% off. You know what? At Liquor Split, you can also order Edge Energy Drink. You won't get the 10% off. But if you want to order Edge and a little vodka, some snacks, you can do that. You want to order some beer, you want to order some wine, you want to order some whiskey, a little bourbon, you can do it there. Miami's own liquor store. Download the app, Android or iOS, liquorsplit.com. Flat fee of $2.99. $1 goes to solving homelessness in Miami, folks. What are you waiting for, man? Tap that app. Don't you love to tap that app? I love to tap that app. And you will too by using Liquor Split. Go to liquorsplit.com and tap that app and check it out. iOS or Android. Tell them that Big O sent you. If they ever tell you, which they won't ask you, but still, you never know. You and I need to talk some Star Wars soon. I've watched all the shows and have read all the comics. Can't get enough of it. Love it. That is cool. And Eddie Lepp, by the way, I saw he left a message. It said, there are episodes in the Clone Wars and Rebels that talk about the light and dark side. Okay. That's cool. But I think you got to have like a show, not a show, a series that talks about the entire development of the dark side and obviously the force and the dark side, right? I guess that's how we call it. Star Wars people are nerds. Gibby, yes, we are. We are proud nerds. Okay? We are proud nerds coming at you with a TIE fighter. You got that, Gibby? Coming at you with a TIE fighter. Or we'll come at you with a X-Wing fighter. There you go. Leave a little Star Wars for you right there. Oh. There we go. Okay? Just to kind of finish the show. A little Star Wars for you. I don't want to knock stuff down. Luke, I am your father. There you go. See? We're geeks. I got Vader back there. I got a giant Millennium Falcon, but I'm not going to bring that. By the way, my daughter gave me a X-Wing fighter. I got to hang it from the roof. But it's badass. I got to show it to you. So here you go, Gibby. This is the Lego one. See? You got Luke there. You got R2-D2. You got Leia hanging out. How about that? And then we can open it up for you. All that stuff. I got to be careful because this is a Lego one. But it's badass. There you go. So, yes, we are geeks. We are geeks, and we're very proud of being geeks. Us Star Wars people. It's a thing, man. It's a bug that I cannot explain. I got it back in, what is it, 77, the first movie? From that second on, Star Wars for me is my favorite movie of all time. All time. All time. There are a bunch of great movies and all that, and it's all subjective. But my favorite movie of all time is Star Wars. So for me, the series is, and the whole franchise is precious, man, because I was 11 years old, right? 77, I think it was. So I was 11 years old when that thing came out. And from that moment on, I've been hooked. From that moment, I sit at the edge of my chair waiting for the next movie to come out. And after Disney purchased it and went into all these directions, it gave me Deshaun Watson erections when it went into all these directions. So, yeah, it's just, I love it. I love it. So, yes, I am a complete geek when it comes to Star Wars. Yes, sir. Gibby, I am guilty as charged, my friend. Yes, I am. Big O, wish I had the original Millennium Falcon with lights. I'm sure you can buy it, dude. Probably have to spend a couple of bucks, but you can buy it. I'm sure you can find it. Somebody has several, I'm sure. Jedis are a bunch of liars. Yeah, you can't trust those bastards. I tell you. Where's the Phantom torpedo launcher? You know what I do need in my room here? The one thing that I've been searching for, I haven't been able to find, is like a cool-ass Death Star that I can hang here from the room. Because that's what I want to do in one corner, like hang the Death Star and then hang like the TIE fighters and the X-Wing fighters and all that all around. Yes, I'm a geek. Relax. But it would be cool to kind of hang it here in the studio. I have them here on the shelf, but I'd like to hang them from the studio, from the roof. It'd be cool. But I got to get a Death Star first. And I've been having trouble trying to find like a pretty cool Death Star. There's some cheesy ones out there. I'm trying to look for one that's actually, nice size, not these little ones, but nice size. And it looks good. Not that it looks like a complete toy, Tony says, you have to check out Star Wars Hot Toys, Big O. They are badass, but expensive. I have a Mandalorian and a Grogu, and it cost me $300. Ooh. Can't put this on. I can't put this out on the thing. My daughter gave me this. Remember I told you she gave me the Lego? She gave me this too. The Mandalorian and the Benta. Huh? How about that? Is that badass or what? I mean, this thing is awesome, but I can't do anything with it. I haven't been able to. I'm going to have to enlarge this damn studio. I'm going to have to talk to EJD Construction and redo this whole studio and make it a bigger stage and all that so we can kind of put all these things together, But yeah, my daughter knows obviously that I love the series. So as you can tell, I told you the last couple she's been giving me she gave me the X-Wing fighter, she gave me the Mandalorian. I love it. Molina, why'd you put The Last American Virgin? Oh, because we're geeks? Is that what you're saying? Great soundtrack. The girl was really cute with the curly hair. She's a cute girl. She screws over the geek, unfortunately. But, what are you doing driving that pizza car? What's wrong with you, kid? Come on. Chad says, my son's name is Luke O, and I always get asked, is it because of Star Wars? And my answer is yes, of course. My mom was so mad at me when I told her, LOL, but spun it as a biblical name, and she was cool. How old is he? Is he old enough now that he knows, or is he still too young? Because that'll be interesting too. Like, yeah, son, I named you after him because I love the movies. Python movies, funniest ever. Yes, they are. History of, no, what is it? Life of Brian was great. And God, what's that? Monty Python's. Oh God, what's the other one that I love? Not Life of Brian, but the other one. I love Monty Python. They're so good. Big O, have you ever ran after an ambulance and your teja flails in the wind? Always. My tejas flail always in the wind. You know whose tejas are going to be flailing in the wind? The Eagles have a wide receiver who is now in the U.S. track team. Pretty cool. The dude was running a 10 by 100 race, and let me pull up the story here. Devin Allen is the name of the wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. Remember, they drafted the Smith kid from Alabama too. So Eagles wide receiver Devin Allen is moving to the 2022 World Championships track and field team, placing third with a time of 13:09 in the 110 meters. 110 meter hurdles at Sunday's U.S. Track and Field Outdoor Championships. Allen will go on to represent the United States at the World Athletic Championships in mid-July. Allen's road to the championships featured a first-place finish in recent weeks, including a 12.84 second performance that stands as the third fastest 110-meter hurdle time in track and field history. Allen is a three-time U.S. national champion, a two-time Olympian, reaching the finals both in 16 in Rio de Janeiro and 20 in the Tokyo Games. Fast cat. Damn. That's a hurdle, bro, okay? 110 hurdles. That guy could run the 110 hurdles faster than I can run a 50-meter race with no hurdles. That's amazing, bro. It's pretty awesome. Good for him. Dolphin opponents' tejas are going to be flailing in the wind trying to catch Tyreek Hill. I agree with that. Gibby says the bar scene in the original Star Wars movie is still a classic. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, sir. In Tatooine, right? It's Mos Eisley is the bar. Yep. Yeah, you got to watch yourself when you go to Mos Eisley. That's just not a place where you want to mess with people. Be careful. Oh, I haven't talked about sex workers in crypto. I know you've been waiting for that. So, apparently, we have now sex workers that are taking in Bitcoin. Yeah. So, this is how it goes. A Texas native who is also a major advocate of cryptocurrency, and her name is Allie Knox. She describes herself as one of the most outspoken sex workers, particularly for crypto. Her interest kicked off in 2014 when she says several vendors, including PayPal, Square, and Cash, and Venmo, shut down her accounts because of red flag related to sex work. So Knox started accepting cryptocurrencies instead. Her first exchange of Bitcoin for content was pretty casual. It started on a Skype call with a client. I had a Coinbase account at the time, and he said, hold your QR code right to this camera here, and he sent it through the camera, and I got it, she explained. It took 15 minutes, and there were no chargebacks, no website commission fees, and no bank intermediaries to turn down the transaction. All major pluses in her industry. But the biggest attraction was having the total and irreversible ownership of the money she had earned. I could cash it out. I could hold it. I could watch it go up and down, said Knox. She watches more things go up and down. That wasn't part of the article. It was mine. Knox is one of many adult workers who say cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin give them a sense of security and independence as banks, credit cards, companies, and payment processors tighten regulations around adult content. With crypto, there's no middleman making a judgment call on which transaction is acceptable. So she opened her OnlyFans account. The majority of sex workers in the U.S. is legal. It's not dealt with fairly, but it is still legal. Stripping is legal. Massage is legal. Escorting is legal. The only thing that's really illegal in the U.S. is the honest exchange of sexual activity for remuneration for money. Some escorts who charge anywhere between $1,700 an hour to $11,000 for a full 24 now explicitly say in their ads that they prefer to be paid in Bitcoin or Ethereum. Those are smart sex workers. Allie Ray, 37, mother of 3, who says she went from making $84,000 a year in the ICU as a nurse in Boston to $1.3 million, thanks to her OnlyFans, which has more than 130 million users. So, there you go. Sex workers getting a little Bitcoin. Think about it. Bitcoin is down. In a couple of years, it'll get its Viagra and it'll get up. And in the end, these sex workers are going to end up getting more bang for their buck because they're getting all that stuff now on a dip. Nice job by the sex workers. Nice job by Allie, too. There you go. And Brian says, wow, hot. Yeah, she's a smoke show. You're right. Chad says he's 3 in February, so not old enough yet. But taking him to Disney for the 3rd birthday, definitely going to Galaxy's Edge. There you go. Big O, you just made me piss on my pants, my orange Nike shorts of laughter. Well, I'm glad you were able to laugh, bro. That is a beautiful drug for all of us, man. A little laughter is good. It's good to smile. It's good to feel good. It's good to laugh. So it makes things a little better. So there you go. Damn, that was strong thunder there. All right, folks, it is time to wrap it up after 3 hours and 15 minutes here on the program. We thank Ira Winderman. We thank Alan Poupart. We thank Marcel Louis-Jacques. Tomorrow, we are pushing up the Sloman's Inside the Paint show to Tuesday. The boys can't do it on Wednesday, so we're pushing it up tomorrow on Tuesday, 9 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we'll be on at 8:45 tomorrow. That will allow us to sleep in on Wednesday. All right. And what else do we have here? That's it. Oh, I got one more thing, Sean. I forgot, man. When business and sports collide, we do something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. All righty. When sports and business collide, we get this. We get the KSDT Sports Business Report. And for many, many years, some of you probably thought this was, you guys are a little full of yourselves. Oh, give me a break. Oh, come on, bro. Yeah, how ridiculous is really? You're correcting me? These are some of the responses you have gotten to people when you are around somebody that went to this school. Sean, when you talk to somebody and you say, yeah, Ohio State, what do they tell you? What do they tell you when you just say Ohio State? What do they say all the time? How do they correct you, Sean? Do you know? Have you been corrected by, no, never? The Ohio State. They love that the Ohio State shit. Oh, no, we're not Ohio State. We're the Ohio State. Well, Ohio State has successfully trademarked the word the for the use of their clothing through the United States Patent and Trademark Office on Tuesday, ending a 3-year quest to register one of the most commonly used words in the English language. Trademark attorney Josh Gerben, founder of Gerben Intellectual Properties, tweeted the trademark certificate Wednesday afternoon. The USPTO refused the initial application for the mark, which was filed in 2019 of August. The was deemed merely a decorative and ornamental feature of the applicant's clothing, according to an official letter issued in response to the application included in Gerben's thread about the registration. Prior to Ohio State's application, clothing company Marc Jacobs had also filed the application for the, which Ohio State opposed in its response to the USPTO. The university also showed that the USPTO that it was not using the trademark only in a decorative or ornamental way. Ohio State and Marc Jacobs ultimately reached a settlement in which they could both own the registration for the in August of 2021, and the university continued through the USPTO application process to register the trademark after clearing up the issue of that mark being deemed merely ornamental, according to documents tweeted by Gerben. The registration certificate issued Tuesday allows Ohio State to control over the use of the on the clothing such as T-shirts, baseball caps, and hats. The Ohio State. So after all these years of being a bunch of snobs with their the Ohio State crap, they got it now permanently. There you go. The Ohio State. Aren't they special? That's your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
Yep, there you go. Only show that can go from geeks, Star Wars to hookers and Bitcoin. The show that does that. We are the show that can do that. Okay? Make sure you get that right. Anyway, we thank Ira Winderman, Alan Poupart, Marcel Louis-Jacques, and of course, Sean Stanley. Without him, we would be a rudderless ship. We'd be lost. We'd be a pod without power. Don't want to give anything away. Anyways, we will see you all tomorrow, same time. Well, a little earlier at 8:45. Same place, same bat channel. Love you all.
This is the Big O Show. This is the